Hello there, and welcome to Edge of Empire, a Horus Heresy podcast. This is, in fact, episode 9 of year 8, would you believe? I've had shorter marriages of Edge of Empire.
That's two of us.
It's a family thing. And tonight we will be looking at the following. So we're going to take a look at this month's roundup of all the new releases, as we normally do, and cast our critical eye on what's been going on. We'll also give a quick rundown of the things that we've collectively been up to in the world of Heresy, in terms of games played, things painted, and the like. We'll have our sort of slightly bird's eye view of the State of the Union, so things out that may be outside of new releases but are still of interest in the world of Heresy, and tangential usually to the world of Heresy, because it's Mr. B's favourite excuse to shoehorn in any old nonsense. And finally, we'll be doing a list challenge. Actually, we've got some questions from the listeners as well in that little section, so that should be cool. And finally, we're going to be doing a list challenge tonight. This one has much requested list challenge when we asked people recently on social media what they'd like to see. This was kind of top of the shop, so we're going to do it, which is who can make the cheapest but still effective and fun to play list. So normally this is Mr. B's territory, and we've split this up into 3. So I'm going to be doing Astartes, otherwise just end up with the same list fundamentally. Chris is doing a double header because he's brave / masochistic, with some Custodes, which of course is a good shout for Chris, and Mechanicum, which is right off the deep end. And then Mr. B is going to try and convince us all that a Chimera is a great proxy for an Oryx, and going to be doing the Solar Auxilia. I expect some fireworks when we get to that particular part of the show. So without further ado,
just very quickly, if this is your first episode, you're listening to the show. My name is Chris. Mr. B.
I was going to just coming on to that.
Oh, okay. Jolly good.
If you don't mind.
No, just checking. I know you're punk here. You like to,
I don't like to mess about.
Get the ball rolling. I thought we'd completely cut the introduction.
Extra punk and do actually who we are after I tell people, because if they know who we are, they might just not bother listening from that point on. So I figured might try to at least attract their attention a bit earlier.
Would you start affecting accents now? Is that
quite possibly? So anyway, joining me this evening, the long-suffering straight man of the outfit, or at least so we're led to believe, Mr. Michael Bottrell, and of course my erstwhile somewhat combative but my genuinely loving brother Chris. There we go.
Look,
Chris.
I have to keep, you keep me in check, I keep you in check. It's checks and balances.
Checks and balances.
That's how the system works.
I think it would be just crazy if either one of us was allowed to run riot. The world could not cope.
That's how we end up with 25-minute music quizzes.
Yes, that's correct. And 65-hour mock podcasts. Podcast.
Hey, look,
of a fictitious
band. Yeah. That's what happens when we get let loose.
That's what happens when we have nobody telling us about. We're kind of like that. Bands that they think, this would be a really good idea, and it's absolutely terrible. Yeah, and I think
we've never had a bad idea.
Never had a bad idea yet, but there's always the first. Anyway, come on in, Mr. B. Tell us all about...
Titillate and scintillate us with your new
releases. Okay, yes. Right, where are we? There are few new releases, not some that are relevant, some that are not so much, but we'll start off with the Trezor Pattern Sentry guns, so they're the possible proxy for your... tarantulas. So.
Are they, though?
Maybe they're a bit small.
Somebody was saying they were a bit small.
Yeah, looking at them,
I've not seen them in the flesh. I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
they don't look huge, but
no.
I mean, would you moan about that? I wouldn't personally.
Wouldn't personally, but
then again, I wouldn't use a Chimera as an Auroch. So
it's £26. Obviously cheaper from Element Games. Haven't
The
got the
thing
Element
is, though,
Games crystals, but
what you could do, you could just whack them on a 40mm base, or whatever the spread of a classic
Yeah.
tarantula is, and then they're going to have the same footprint.
Yeah, I mean, you can put those little
Uh,
ammo cases on them if you needed to,
yeah,
couldn't you, just
just-
to fill the thing up. Or, I mean, there's loads of spare bits of ammo boxes and stuff you could chuck on there, no bother. So yeah, I mean, you could. The only problem is, I suppose, twin-linked heavy bolter, twin-linked autocannon.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a lot of options with the tarantula.
I mean, worst case scenario, it's it's just greebles for your for your table.
What's
Greebles.
Greebles.
I had a dose of the Greebles once.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
you just tell us all about it in 5 minutes before we recorded. Thank you very much.
just sort of, you know,
share.
what do you know, like when you see the things on the Star Wars ships, like the little bits and bobs on the side that.
I've got an orange on my desk. Sorry, do apologize.
Yeah, I
Add
mean,
to
I've heard the word. You have used the word in the conversation before, and I've kind of heard other people of your generation use such terrible English. But
Someone
yes,
get the blanket. Someone get his tea and his pills.
agreeable, a collective bit of sort of stuff to make that's just sort of there. Okay,
yeah.
just
sort of adds to the whole atmosphere, as it were.
yeah.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yep,
Graham,
go on.
are you titillated or scintillated by the aforementioned proxy for tarantulas? Titillated, scintillated? What do we think?
Well, I'm definitely not titillated. I've got to be honest with you, and
Okay.
even being scintillated would be tough at my age.
Yeah.
To be fair, so yeah, I'd probably say no.
Okay.
I'm probably a more meh, to use modern parlance.
Okie dokie. That's the new titillate or meh. That's what we're going with.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah, okay.
That's the system. Right, Mr. B.
Next
What's
up, we
next?
have the Navigator. Now,
I've always liked this figure.
Yeah,
I've
we've got an
always liked
expeditionary navigator in the game, and they've re-released this guy for the
He's
Imperial
cool,
agents in you call it a standard 40k. So he's now on his own sprue, and you don't have to try and find him from somewhere else. So
I think he's great, actually. That's a really cool figure.
so yeah, that's fine.
I just imagine
Blackstone
You know,
Fortress was he from?
that is-
Yes,
yeah, that's
Blackstone
what it was, yeah.
Fortress.
A game that I thought was really good, but I think did it kind of just peter out?
They just sort of
Stopped.
stopped selling it and did a one for
They were quite nice models.
they're really nice
Yeah,
models.
that's where that cool robot guy I had came from.
That's
He
right,
was-
of course. Yeah, MK909 or whatever it
whatever
was.
his name
Yeah,
is, yeah.
yeah.
He was cool.
know,
Super good.
That
Titillated
is
or meh?
scintillated. I think titillated.
Titillated.
Slightly titillated. Maybe even bordering scintillation.
Okie dokie.
But yeah,
Beautiful stuff.
definitely top end for that one.
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah, so he's £21.50 or £18.27 at Element Games. Next up, we've got the four plastic assassins. All they've done is repack them and put the price up a little bit. So Eversol, Caladius, Collectius, and Vindicare, now up to £25 or £21 on it at Element Games. So they're available there. Then we've got some Legions Imperialis releases. So we have, first off, the Sabre Strike Tanks. You get a pack of 8 of these bad boys for £31.50.
Lovely.
So they are very nice. So they've got all the weapons.
It looks like it,
Neutron blasters
blasters
and
and
auto
stub
cannons. They don't
autocannon,
get the
yeah.
Volkite.
No.
They don't get the Volkite. That's fine.
Interesting how well they would fare in Legion Imperialis. But that does mean, of course, there's always speculation, isn't there? If they do a plastic version of it in Legion Imperialis, does that mean we might see a plastic version in the near future?
Hopefully. Then we have the Termite Assault Drills. So again, 8 of them for £31.50.
That's cool.
So are these for Space Marines and Solar, or possibly it looks like they're only available for? I don't know. It's sort of saying for Space
I'll have to have a look.
They are.
But yeah, I mean, they're painted up in Iron Warriors colours, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're quite nice.
Same again,
then,
I guess. Could we see plastic ones of those?
And then Lehman Russ Exterminators and Annihilators. Pack of 8 of those, £31.50. So you get they're the ones with the las cannons and also cannons, isn't it? So
yeah, nice.
So they're very nice for your solar auxiliary.
I have loads of tanks, my friend. Very cool.
Okay, then we've got the Martian Civil War. available as hardback or EPUB. So £37.50 for your hardback book and £29.99 for your EPUB. And we'll be delving into that at some point. There's not a lot, I'm told, in there in terms of actual units or rules. Most of the rules are for actually for Legion's start.
That's
I think
not
that's
entirely
strictly
true.
true.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff for like
You've got
and
the new
stuff that they've
Krios
got-
arrangements.
yeah,
But
you've got
the new
all-
irradiator,
you've got all of the new
Dark Mech.
dark
Yeah.
mech
Meters
kind
and
of so all of the kind of there's some new warlord traits for dark mech. There's a whole new kind of load of cyberthurgy stuff for dark mech. There's actually a lot in there, but most of it, some of the units certainly were previously available as a free PDF, which makes it a little bit of a ouch. And I think they've actually taken that PDF off now, which makes things a little bit more awkward. But the stuff that's in there does give you the ability to make quite a themey dark mech army. But the problem is that actually the Mechanicum army itself is quite a tricky beast to stand your ground with.
Wheel
It's
around.
not like what it used to be. And so it's quite situational. And these things are quite specific. So there's some good themes in there. I haven't looked at the missions yet, to be fair, but those are the things I was interested in. So that's what I've looked at.
Camber Diaz is in it, and they got
Yes.
which is a definite win for the Fist players out there.
Oh, do you mean another character for the Fists?
Yeah,
Surely
but
not.
he is a super cool character in the book.
Oh, yeah, he is.
How many more can they have? I reckon you could just do a whole army with just characters now for the Imperial
you've got-
Fists.
Let me think. Pollux, Ran, Sigismund, Camber Diaz. There's
the
about
other one from
5 now.
Evander Garius.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one every week.
There's like maybe 7 Imperial Fist
Let's have a-
characters now.
Let's have a quick. Yeah, that's quite a lot compared to some that have
I don't
none.
know. I don't know.
Iron Warriors. I think have got one, if that.
That's what they
Do Iron
deserve.
Warriors have a character?
Let's have a look. Garius, Sigismund, Pollux.
Here we go. Fafdar Ran,
Ran.
Garrus,
Yeah,
Garius. Where are we? Sigismund. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Pollux,
four
Camber Diaz.
line characters, and then 5 now, including with this guy, and then
Yeah,
Rogal Dawn. Hey,
it's
look,
quite a few.
but you've only got 3 HQ slots, so you can't take them all.
Well, oh no, what a shame.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Okay, so then we've got a bunch of Mechanicum units. So we've got the Archmagos Prime. I quite like this model. This looks really
I don't
nice.
like his head. I've got to be honest with you. He looks a bit weird.
Has he got an alternative head, or is it just the one head?
I don't
Looks
know
like
what
it's
it
just
is.
the one head.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. I've been looking actually
This guy.
for.
Yeah.
I've been looking for an Archmagos for my Dark Mechanicum. So I went to Etsy and bought something in the end. But there's some really cool ones on there actually. But yeah, I mean it's
He
okay.
just looks a bit like he's got a pedal bin on his head.
That's the problem, isn't it? That thing at the
Yeah.
back. But I suppose you could probably get away with actually using that as a like the jetpack thing. I can't remember what it's called now. I can't see the back of him. Did I do the 360 thing anymore?
They don't
No.
do it. No, God, no.
They do on some models, but not on this one, I don't think. Oh, no, they have. They've got it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Second picture.
Oh, is that the 3? Your cheeky little faces are obscuring the 360 button.
Very good.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not much of a jetpack. Given the
No,
fact
you'd
that
have to
it's
do
just-
some more modelling to make that a jetpack.
He,
for sure.
It's just going to force him into the floor.
No, you're quite right, Chris. Just a little. You'd need to do a little bit of work, but yeah, he's okay. Better than now.
I like him. I think he's pretty jazzy.
It's not bad. I've got to say. Yeah, might be one to consider. Okay, cool.
I'd be tempted by that. Okay, then we got the Phalanx cohorts at last. So you get 6 of them in a box.
Yeah,
Is it 6?
6 in the
yeah.
box.
And
all the guns.
all the available weapons to them. And I think they are. I don't know, how are they, Graham? I mean, I've not had.
I haven't put them together.
I mean, the good thing about that box is in theory, you can get 2 troop choices out of it because it's 3 to a squad.
It is 3 to a squad, yeah.
So you're not having to spend.
Well,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
as long as you've got. Well, actually, that does depend a little bit because you can only have one of those special weapons for every 3 in every 3. So, assuming, of course, that there are 4 lightning guns in there, not 3 lightning guns and 3 heavy special weapons, if you see what I mean. Otherwise, you're screwed. So you need 2 guys with lightning guns and 1 guy with a special weapon.
I don't know. I've not seen the sprue yet, so
That's it. I mean, I don't know if they would sort of make half the box.
Yeah, that would be annoying, wouldn't it, if they did that? But one would hope that there's enough to maybe put 5 guys with lightning guns on.
They can be armed with powerful lightning gun, optional melter bombs, as well as arsenal spirit weapons to replace the lightning guns. A pair of placed plasma fusils, photon thrusters, and multi-melters. So there's 2 special weapons. Yeah. There's 2 special weapons in each box.
But it's just whether there was enough to make 2. So I mean so there's 5 lightning guns and you can put the special weapon.
Oh no, yeah. So there's 6 lightning guns and then
Oh yeah, sorry, pardon. Cool. So that's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you can definitely make 2 trick choices from that. No bother.
Okay, then we've got the Castellax Battle Automator, £47.50 or £40.38 element games.
Automator, the battle automator. What's he do? Do you mean the automata?
Automata. I pronounced it wrong. Okay.
Actually, it's automator. That, you know what?
Automata.
You could read it that way, couldn't you? Yeah, he goes to the battle and he automates workflow and printing functions for everybody.
Yes.
Actually, weirdly enough, I don't know whether I kind of feel that. So I've got the old resin hunk of loveliness for this model, but when I modeled it, when I put it together, like on that, it's got like the pearls on the plasma mortar opening up.
Yeah.
I've got mine closed, so I figure I don't know if I modeled him wrong or whether I can.
No, I think the resin one is closed.
Gotcha.
But the plastic one is open. I think that was something they talked about on the sort of thing where they were saying, we've got much more options.
I don't remember seeing the big lad ever having his
his petals open, as it were. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Castellax is...
How much is £63? Quite a pricey model.
That's the Thanatar.
Yes, so we've been talking about the Thanatar, which is 63.25 or 53.76 element game. So that's the big lad. I mean, he's quite he's a chunky model, absolutely gorgeous.
It's a nice model. Always been a nice model.
Obviously, based on the sprues that I've seen, I think that it's going to be easy to sort of add on the extra weapon, the other weapon when they do that. So
we can hope. Because the last cannon version is actually pretty useful.
Strength 10, 2 shots, all sorts of considerable unpleasantness.
I mean, they get precision shots and precision shots at 4+, I think. So you can have a strength 10 precision shot, which is pretty good for sniping those characters with. So yeah.
That is handy. Okay, so what else have we got there? We've got the Castellexes. So we did.
Oh, you missed the tech thralls.
I haven't missed them yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Where are you?
We did the Phalanx, and you skipped ahead to the Thanatar.
You've skipped the Trio, the Triaros.
Right,
I've come back in time.
Right, Castellex. Pack of 2 for £47.50 or £40.38 at Element Games, and you get all the options on that one.
Yep.
Which is quite handy. So you get a pack of 2 of them. So you've got those, haven't you, Graham? So have you touched any of the box yet? Or okay,
I haven't opened it yet.
I think that happens to be an excellent set, and for the price, really good compared to what it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, because it was 50, probably about £50 for one.
Yeah, and I've got 6 of the buggers in resin.
Yeah. I've got 3 of them in resin, and they're super fiddly and very prone to broken.
So how many heavy bolter ones are going to be thrown out and replaced with just the Darkfire Lances? Because
why would you put heavy bolter ones on there anyway?
Yeah, that would be madness.
That's insanity.
There was an argument back in the day you could put mortar bolt cannons on them when they were pretty good, but they're not.
Is that the mortar bolt cannon? Yeah, sorry, not heavy bolt. Yeah, I've got 2 of them. I've got 2 of these.
They used to be AP3.
AP3. Yeah. So they were.
They were.
Do they have the oh yeah, they've got the buzz blades, so that's quite handy. So
they're not a bad unit. The only problem is that they're one of these things that you always think is going to do better, and I'll come on to it later because I actually used them a couple of times this month.
Oh, I've always found the multi-melters being pretty handy.
I'm kind of coming round to that as opposed to the Darkfire Lance. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay, no problem then. Okay, so then we have the Tech Thralls Covenant, £47.50 or £40.38 Element Games for 20.
20, yeah. They are nice. They look pretty fiddly. I've not tried to put them together yet, but apparently they are quite a fiddly model because they're semi-spindly. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to them to paint, but I've got two of the box sets. So I've got however many that is, I think 80 of these things, something crazy. So yeah, I've got a lot of these to get through.
Well, these obviously form for many people. I think these are going to be the sort of backbone of their army. So
yeah, I mean, and they're not as good as they used to be. There is a way around it to make them slightly better, but they're still like back in the day.
Right,
for like next to no points. I mean, these were like 3 points a model or something.
They still are 3 points a model.
But back in the day, they had Fearless. So you could create like a 40 unit blob.
Stubborn now. And
but they've only got leadership 6 or something crazy.
Yeah.
But there is a way around that. Well, you can basically put a Magos with them and give them leadership 9. Stubborn. Pretty good. Cool. Sorry, Mr. Hey, please.
Yep. No, it's no problem. Then we've got the Triaros Armored Conveyor, £57 or $48.45 Element Games. Again,
always like the look of this model.
Compared to what it was.
Got 2 of them now because I've got 2 box sets. So yeah, I think these are really cool. The RAM is actually quite a unique thing, I think, for it does some cool stuff. I like Armor 15 RAM, and it can take 20 models. 22
models,
yeah. So it's like as good as a Spartan in that regard. I think it's got a flare shield as well, so it's pretty durable.
It does look. It looks Rolls Royce. That's the thing about it.
It does. Yeah. To be fair, all the Mechanicum Rage looks awesome.
I did see a nice conversion on Etsy where somebody has like put sort of las cannons on the side and like a missile, like a submarine missile launching system on the top.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's got like missiles coming out. So I think it's a version where you can take these and convert them into the siege version, the shooty version.
Kraven or whatever it is.
Kryaknos or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you can make those from that.
But that looks, again, that's probably going to be a reasonably easy upgrade for them to do at some point. Just a sprue, isn't it? So
you'd hope.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of this stuff's been sort of designed to do. So
because the correctness has got the 2 bays of missiles, and then it's got the armed sort of dangly outy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, weird thing. Yeah, cool.
They're sort of hanging off the side.
Okay, so but great transport vehicle, I think.
Then we've got a Mechanicum die set, £26, available as stocks last if you're interested.
They're okay.
Enter the Death Volume 1 came out in paperback at last, $8.99. So that's your mass market paperback for those who are into that particular format.
Sure.
There was a new Imperial Palace map, the Imperial Palace Undone, £40. Still available, Chris, if you're after that.
I gave up. I gave up on the map hunting when they went, you just can't.
I think they've released that separately, so.
They killed it for me.
Then we've got a Kill Team Equipment Pack, £28. This is just basically greebles. It's just some barriers.
Oh, yeah.
Greebles and stuff. So if that's what you want for your table, so.
Zone Mortalis kind of styly.
Yeah. And then we've got 2 kill zones, terrain pack, £75. Galodark and Beta Decimus. So Beta Decimus is short. Mechanicum sort of platforms and stuff. I don't actually think that's worth £75 myself, and Galodark, which absolutely is worth £75 because that is a fantastic Zone Mortalis system there.
Oh yeah, that's bang on, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got essentially equivalent of 2 of these boxes that I use for Zone Mortalis for boarding actions and stuff. They're great.
Nice.
Then we've got a Blood Angels upgrades and transfers. So this is designed for 40k, but you've got some greebles. You know, you got your heads, your shoulder pads. Some of those shoulder pads are basically Mark IV.
Here's the thing: how many of those heads have got vampire teeth?
A few.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Too many. That's how many.
Yeah.
Too many.
The guy third. So going on the top row.
Top row.
Third person along.
Yeah, I instantly, as soon as you said top row, I knew who you were looking at.
I'm trying to think.
This is why we're not allowed to have nice things.
Yeah, I think he looks like he looks like he's auditioning for Village Idiot. I think is probably the best way to describe it.
I mean,
mind you, having said that,
one on to the right of him looks like the guy from Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, none of them. To be fair, none of them you'd want to be seeing that bedroom face. I've got to be honest with you, particularly the Village Idiot. I mean, that's not great. That's not a good look.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, just too many sets of vampire teeth.
Too many sets of vampire teeth. Okay. So what was it? The vampire counts? Oh no. Blood Angels, my bad.
Blood Angels, yeah. Then there's some random Blood Angels dice, £19. So again, if you like dice,
fractionally more readable than the ones.
If you like dice, we've got them.
Yeah.
Then we've got a new book. I haven't read this yet, but Eidolon, the Auric Hammer, came out in a special edition, a hardback, an EPUB, and an audio book. So 4 formats all at once. £40 for the special edition, which I think sold out. No, it did not sell out. Not surprised. Nobody likes the Emperor's Children, really, do they?
No, God.
If they do, you probably want to check their hard drives. Joke, that's a joke. It's a joke.
And there it is, gentlemen. That's where it ended. I'm just writing a book on it.
Oh God! Yeah,
I mean, Eidolon is one of those characters that I think I probably know the least amount about out of all the heresy kind of sort of captains, effectively. Yeah, he's the one I probably know, other than maybe him and like a Raven Guard one. But yeah, I just quite like his model, to be fair.
Oh, he's got an awesome model. But I need to have a read of this book because Mark Collins has written some excellent stuff, and it's nice to get new heresy fiction. So that's always good.
Still pumping it out there.
Yeah. Even they said they wouldn't do anymore, I believe.
No, I don't think they actually said that, but
there won't be any more probably won't be any more main books, but they'll still do character focuses.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Then we have a Servo Skull palette.
No.
Just a palette. It's a silicon palette. You can get something cheaper off Amazon.
Nope.
I mean,
all the nopes.
It looks cool, but
you've got one of these, haven't you already, Mr.
No,
B?
I don't. I don't.
It's on pre-order.
I'll tell you what you could do. Okay, here we go. This is a thing. You could use that, and you could make a really good cake mold out of that.
Okay.
Use that to press down into some icing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And that would leave a really good impression of the Servo Skull. There you go. 2 uses.
There you go. 2 uses. But as it's got double the uses for £9, I fear now that puts it into a different
different bracket.
Different bracket. I mean, yeah.
It's just a little thing, isn't it?
It's a
nice little
It's
thing
a nice little thing.
For the completionists and the sociopaths, and like people that we know.
I mean,
next to all is grabbing claw things.
You say that, Mr. B, but the next time you're at some, con or something, and you're walking past the Games Workshop thing, and you're thinking, I haven't bought anything today, and you get a bit antsy.
You get the itch.
You can get.
I can't really
silicon
quid thing. I'll get this instead.
Silicon pallets are fine, but you can get them cheaper from Amazon.
But they're not Servo Skull shaped, are they?
They're not Servo Skull shaped, but
I don't actually use a pallet. I use a wet pallet.
Oh yeah, I use a wet pallet, but yeah.
I just use my arm mostly if I'm painting. Yeah.
Okay.
Like a nailed arm.
I thought, what do you like for blood red? You like use your own blood?
Yeah, there have been a few times where I painted 1,000 Suns and the Blood Angels, and he was like, "Are you okay?" Because the red was quite red and my arms were covered in it.
Okay, very good.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good piece of cool marketing for the Servo Skull palette. I'll give him that one.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next, Mr. B?
Okay, then we've got a Stormvault combat case. I don't know how useful this would be.
What is that?
It's a case for carrying miniatures. I don't know how many you're going to fit in there, or if it's any good.
It kind of splits in part, doesn't it? So it's not like
yeah.
Doesn't look very big, either.
The bristles are plus space to hold any type of miniature on a 25 to 40 mil round base and up to a 75mm over base. You doesn't tell you how many you can fit in there, does it?
It would be useful. Oh, and there's a kind of a little bit of a picture of them in situ.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take that
Not many. I mean, it's probably looks like what you might get 3 per.
Thing is, though, I mean,
9, 18 maybe.
If you're rocking a certain golden armored army,
then it's twice the size you need.
It's twice the size.
2 or 3 times the size, in fact, I would say.
You could be right.
Okay, but that's like £67.50. I'm not sure if it's.
Do they just go in
between the bristles
as traditionally, or do they stand upright?
I think they go in sort of lying down.
Because you've got like because you've got the big things, then you've got the little things. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay, and some more books. Rise of the Dark Mechanicum for Legions Imperialis in hardback and EPUB. So these are available for you. I think they come out actually this coming Saturday. Second. So they'll be out with rules for some.
There was some exciting whether these little spidery nibnabs as to whether will they scale these up?
Welcome to a tour of the northeastern England
language.
Nibnabs. Greebles. So, yeah.
You need your own
new to this show
lexicon to understand what these people are talking about.
Yes, I speak absolute tosh and try and claim it's some sort of language. It's not. It's whatever they make up. Greebles and nibnabs.
Greebles and nibnabs.
It's a bit of a
Harry Potter creatures,
like Dungeons and Dragons, but okay. So there we go. These spidery things. There was much excite about this because it's like, oh, hello. And we all thought they were 28mm, but they weren't. They were Legion Imperialis. But hey, who knows? The magic of scaling things up might mean they're coming our way as well. So that'd be cool. But then you'd think if they were going to do a 28mm version of the spidery thing, they would have done it with the Martian Civil War Heresy book. You'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd think.
You'd think.
Production development times are not all, and book development times are probably not that similar. They don't be sitting on a load of stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool.
Okay.
What else?
The Mechanicum Battle Group for Legions Imperialis, £95. So that's a big box of Mechanicum models for that particular army. 4 Trioses, some Voltaraxes, 8 Vanitars, Artilaxes, Domitars, Tech Thralls, pretty much all you want for to be in a Mechanicum army there.
There's a lot there. Well, there's a lot of infantry there, isn't there?
146 models, apparently, to build 56 units.
And they've got like 2 Archmagoses on abeyance, haven't they, there, by looks things, which is cool. Like I say, some Vorax in plastic.
Castlexes.
Saucy. Even some of the old murder bees, I see.
Just show those
Yeah, very cool.
So hopefully a lot of these will be coming to plastic in 28mm.
Yeah, no Krioses though, are there?
No. Not yet.
Not yet.
I think that's fair to say. Then we have a Night House Battle Group, which was teased like a year ago. So you get in there 6 of the Questoris Knights, 2 of the big Porporians, and 4 Lancers. So
that looks like a nice set.
So that's reasonable for £95. You've also got a Titan Battle Group for £110. That contains Warlord, Reaver, 2 Warhounds. That's nice.
Yeah, that's not bad either. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah,
nice big expansion there for Legions Imperialis. You got your Mechanicum army cards, £16.50. These haven't gone off sale yet because they normally do. These cards apparently are very popular. So
I've got a full set of Legion Imperialis cards.
Nice.
I went and bought them.
Yeah,
the other day.
And then we've got the Manufactorum Imperialis sector. So that's just
hello, welcome back, manatees.
Just a bunch of terrain.
Finally,
containers, silos.
The manatees have been set free. Their new compound, and they're working hard again to come up with exactly the same names for everything else, except arranged slightly differently.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is just Legions Imperialis terrain. So that's
cranes.
Nice.
Now, Mr. B, I know you're a big fan of the old containers. Quite a lot of containers there.
There are quite a lot of containers there, even some on cranes.
Some on cranes as well for added coolness.
Containers.
True. Now we've got a couple of tangential items that can be used with various things.
Here we go.
Kazrakin is a possible if you're after some for your what do you call them?
Solar auxiliary?
Militia. Yeah, or solar auxiliary.
Militia. Okay.
So militia or solar auxiliary, so you get
they're nice. They are nice figures.
Yeah. They've always been nice, even when they were the second ones. They've always been
42,50. The Legionnaires, £46. That's basically standard Chaos Marines with an upgrade sprue for all sorts of stuff. And the 2 Chaos Lords that came out, the one with normal one and the one with jump pack, £26. They went on sale on Saturday. So again,
I like that.
If you're looking for late heresy kind of,
he looks like he means business. Actually, be great as a Sons of Horus character. Him, like that one
as well. He's got different weapon choices as well.
Yeah, got Mace, Thunder Hammer,
jump pack, dude. Make a fantastic chaplain with a jump pack.
Yep.
Very good. They're quite cool.
So that's our new releases. So
very nice stuff in there.
I think we can all agree we are titillated. I think of an average.
I think I got a little bit meh in the middle, but certainly come the end there was some titillation.
Yeah,
perfect. That's all you can ask for.
Okay. Shall we move on to what we've been
very quickly?
Okay, so now it is what we have been up to, where I can just sit back for 10 minutes, catch up on today's current events, and Graham and Michael can tell you the wonderful things in the heresy community they've been up to over the last 30 odd days. Starting with Graham Mills.
Yeah, so been a bit of a slowish month, I think. There's been some good telly on, so I think that's probably focusing on stuff. So I did, however, paint up my Legion Imperialis. So all 3,000 points of that. I think it's 3,000 points. I still can't quite get my head around the rules for detachments with it yet. But anyway, so I've had like a load of Spartans and a load of infantry that involved me having to paint very, very tiny little stripes on them, which was quite good fun. So yes, I think I've created 4 Kratoses, 4 Arcuses, 5 or 6, 7, 8 Spartans, 8, might even be 10 Leviathans, and a load of infantry and a Thunderhawk, which was really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, but they are nice painting little models actually. Although they're fiddly, kind of a little goes a long way, if that makes any sense, because you can't really see that the fact that the lines aren't perfectly straight at that level of detail, so you don't have to sort of fret quite so much. So yeah, it's good. I also painted up, so Michael gave me some Sons of Horus stuff, and one of the things that he gave me was an old Sons of Horus Contemptor, which is really cool. So as it's got all of the cool moldings for Sons of Horus stuff, I thought, I'm going to make him of like a First Company Dreadnought. So I put him in the same colour scheme as my Just Aaron. So he looks really cool. I'm quite pleased with him. And I also painted up that Overseer figure that you made.
Oh, yes.
Which is really nice, actually. Really nice figure. Don't know where I'll use him, but I'm sure I will find somewhere for him. But so I painted him up as well. So that was it, really. just lots and lots of little tiny things to paint this month. I'm gonna did make a start on my Mechanicum, but had to sort of back out of it. So I'll probably talk about next month in that.
Yeah.
So that was me.
Cool. Nice. I painted up an Aurochs that I got and printed up, so that was quite a nice model. I like it. Beautiful. I also did a test scheme for the because I'm going to do a few auxiliary what they call legionaries auxilia for the Ultramarines. So I'm trying Calf High Guard. So I just did a test model for that. So that was it's okay. Looks I got to get better at taking photos because it looks worse than yeah. And then
you might be better off taking doing a video and then taking a screen grab from
possibly
the video.
Yeah. Also, I needed a couple of just Ultramarine sergeants with power fists, so in Mark IV armor, so I painted those up as well. So that was because for some reason I don't have any with just plain power fists. So yeah, they've been painted up and popped into the box because I'm going to the Heresy camp next. Is it May? Isn't it, Graham?
April, May. Yeah,
April, May. Yeah. So that's for that. And my first ever Lehman Rosses that I painted. Never painted Lehman Rosses before. So I painted 2 of those for the Solar Auxilia. In Vanquishers, of course, because, I mean, what else would you take? Mm-hmm. So that was quite cool. And then some spoilers for the Imperial Fists, which I was talking about the other day. So they're nice. Sergeant with Power Fist, and then just 2 guys with a Power Axe. Keep them relatively simple and cheap. So I think that's what I wanted, and a librarian as well for the fists. I'm not sure when I'll be using a librarian, but I have one now. So
cool, very good,
super cool.
But yeah, maybe video might be. Yeah, you might be right there, Chris.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So if you try and take static photos of certain gemstones, it doesn't work very well. Like a video of it actually works out perfectly fine. So it might just be a weird thing with the processing. Just it's slightly different on it, so it might just come out a fraction better. But
it does. They are sort of super overly exposed, aren't they? Sort of the brightness of your light box thing or whatever.
Yeah, possibly the light boxes.
I very much like your Vanquisher.
Oh, thank you.
I saw it the other day and I was like, oh. That looks super cool. I like the paint scheme. I think
nice
I like
colour,
that. Yeah, I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, I like the idea of urban camouflage. I just thought it'd be it's a bit different, and it means that depending on what I choose to, if I choose to use some auxiliary at some point, painting a different scheme, I'm not using things that are different. If that makes sense.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Very cool.
Any games played then? Because I haven't played any. I've got one on Friday, but other than that,
I've played a couple. So I had a game against because this is quite a long time since we've done this. I had a game against Paul B's Loyalist Iron Warriors against my Soup Kitchen Sons of Horus list. So that's basically Sons of Horus with demons and a Khitan and a Despoiler. So not Despoiler,
Decimator.
Yeah. So I've got a Pravian that enables us to take those, and then I've also got a Esoterist to summon demons. So it's like lots of different things going on that list. So that's quite cool. It's a good fun list. I enjoy it. Not too terribly powerful, and the demons always kind of come on and just die really quickly. But they're all good fun, and there's something a bit different. And then I had a game last night actually against Anthony's Mechanicum. No, he had Questoris Knights list, so 2 Knights and 4 Armigers and Solar Auxilia against my Mechanicum, sort of Dark Mechanicum. So again, the Khitan came out and the whatever it is, Decimator, because you can take them in the Mechanicum list, which is cool, the Dark Mechanicum list, and some other bits from my old Mechanicum army, which is quite good fun actually. It was a really brutal game. I did manage to win it, but then I kind of played the objectives. But he had a Knight Lancer, the one with the sort of shield and the big lance. That's actually quite a useful piece of work because it's it's initiative 5 rather than 4, so it has an advantage against other kind of knightly based creatures, which he managed to take my poor Khitan for the first time, but absolutely beasted. Normally he's the one doing the beasting, but he's very good against the Khitan's great against dreadnoughts and stuff, but not quite so good against knights. So it's a bit of a bully.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing of scale there.
Yeah. But that was a good game. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, I managed to eke a victory just by camping on the objectives and getting points that way. And actually, what did do for his army mainly was my Thanatar with the plasma mortar, because it was just like, because you can overcharge it and take D3 wounds.
Yeah.
But I gave him Paragon of Metal so that he gets like it will not die 4+, which is actually quite a good upgrade for him. And so yeah, he was really good. He basically just flattened all of his troops, so he didn't have any scoring, unfortunately.
Because it's rending 4+, I think.
Yeah, it is. Strength 8, rending 4+, ignores cover, and you can fire if you overcharge it. It does 2 blast templates, so you can pretty much, if it's kind of on target ish, you can cover most sort of 10-man squads quite happily. And it was just murdering its way through all of those, so he's really good, and he's a tough nut to crack. He's toughness 8, and he gets an extra wound with Paragon of Metal as well, so he's up to 8 wounds, which is pretty monstrous.
Super useful. He is. Super cool things.
But I do think the las cannon one might slightly edge it in terms of if you want some serious shooting.
They do very different jobs, that's the thing. The Calyx, I think it is the las cannon one, and that is a point and clicker.
He is.
So if you're mass infantry facing,
the other one's going to do the job.
I think the Thanatars, they give your opponent something to seriously consider.
Yeah,
because no one wants to be large blasted.
Yeah,
plus rending.
No, definitely. So that was cool. But then again, if you think about it, large blast 4+ rending is exactly what comes off Whirlwind Scorpiuses. So it's and they're only 120 points.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good. Really tough model. To much harder to kill him than it is to kill a Scorpius, though.
Yeah,
for sure. So
yeah, definitely.
Toughness 8. I mean, he's pretty much impervious to. Well, he's impervious to bolter fire for sure. Yeah. So yeah, he's a 1. So that was a really cool game. I really enjoyed that game actually a lot. It was played in sort of good spirit, and we had some things like smashing through buildings and going through. We had some sort of oil drum scenery, and it was just like, oh, that's blown up, so on a take X hits from it and stuff like that. So it's quite a narrative game as well, which was really good fun. So yeah, enjoyed that one. So that was me. But I haven't been doing quite as many games, and there's been opportunities for sort of quite a few games in the area and in Newcastle. But of course, not driving makes it a bit more difficult.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah,
you're getting the odd game, which is good. Keep your eye in.
Keep my eye in. Yeah. Okay. So anybody else?
No games?
Sadly not. But I was meant to play one on Friday, but I was not feeling my best at all. So
fair enough.
I am playing that game this Friday instead. So that's going to be fun. New opponent, Dave, over at Hartlepool Gamers. And I'm going to give it a shot with the fists, and I'm going to take the solo auxilia as some allies this time as well. So,
okay,
give that a try.
Yes. Me and Adam are trying to arrange a game between us and a group of people again to see. So hopefully before the end of the year, but it's coming up for December, and that is a time sink for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Situation.
Cool. All right. Well, I did actually buy a ticket for that, which I might have done late at night when I wasn't really thinking about it very much. They're doing another one of those Serpent Lodge events at Stockport.
I saw, yeah.
So I think I bought a ticket for that as a traitor. So I might go to that. But it is a month before the Heresy camp thing, whatever they're calling it now. So I'm probably pushing my luck, if truth be told. So, yeah, we shall see.
Possibly.
Right. So yeah, That's it. What about State of the Union? Let's move on. Welcome back, and we're going to now be talking about the State of the Union, where we kind of look at all things in or around the tangential world of Mr. B's crazy mind, as he tries to convince us that this somehow has some relevance to the world of heresy. So, first out the gates, it's not looking good.
We've been playing this. We have.
That's true.
That's true.
It's relevant to us in a way.
Yeah.
So, Warhammer 40,000, whatever that is coming to Amazon Prime. So we are getting some Games Workshop content on Amazon Prime. Come on, Henry, sort yourself out. Yeah. This is going to be an animated episode from an anthology series called Secret Level, based around an epilogue to the video game Space Marine 2, for those of you that are that way inclined.
It's a bit like that. Is it Love, Death and Robots? Which is
the same people.
Yeah. On Netflix. I thought it was pretty cool.
There's some good episodes. That's really good. Yeah, really good.
There are some very good ones. There are some ones that you just
whatever. Yeah.
It's like any anthology series. You're always going to get some decent ones and you get some rubbish ones. So
true. Andy took us through a bit of background on the Martian Civil War.
I assume this is Andy Hall.
I assume you didn't specify. Could have been.
They don't list the surnames now on the community site.
Okay. Well, Andy,
in case they get famous.
I think I'm a bit late for that. Took a bit of a back. Yeah, so basically, they just talked about some of the background of Martian Civil War. Head of the book for all those that need a flush brush up, which doesn't sound like, well, it sounds like something you'd pay for, frankly. No coincidence that Michael assigned me to this topic, because he knew full well that I would never go and look at it. So there we go.
No, it was actually random.
Was it?
It was just started with Chris.
Okay. So did you watch it? Was it on point? I mean, oh no.
Yeah, it's an article. It's fine. It's very basic. I mean, at the end of the day, they want you to buy the book, so it's sort of a bit of a teaser for what's in the book. So, but there's some nice artwork in there. There's a really good one of the tech thralls at the bottom. So yeah,
lovely.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah,
we'll just call it fine for now.
Yeah, I guess they don't want to put too much in it, but because they do want you to buy the books. So
fair enough. Okay, what else?
Okay, so Combat Patrol, the magazine, hit UK newsstands. Yes, it's a 40k collection, but during this run, there's going to be several issues that Heresy fans may want. Indominus Terminator Squad coming in a few weeks. Khorne Berserkers, Cadian Shock Troops, for example. So, yes, there are. It's out there. Keep an eye on it. Forbidden Planet in Newcastle stocks them. And I think all the Forbidden Planets do. And as I said, a couple of weeks, you've got Indominus Terminators coming.
I'm going to tangentialize here very quickly.
Go on.
So there's Forbidden Planet in London.
Yes.
And there's a Forbidden Planet in Brighton that is unattached.
They used to be the same company, but then they split up, and you've got Forbidden Planet and Forbidden Planet International. And one's supposed to operate in the north in Scotland, and one's supposed to operate in the south, but they never really did any of that. And they both work together to operate Forbidden Planet in Dublin and New York.
Is the Forbidden Planet in Brighton just with bloody Funko Pops?
Oh, it's yeah. It's a bit Well, to be honest, most of it.
That used to be such a great shop.
It's not the. It's. I mean, your Dave's Comics and stuff.
Dave's Comics,
which is still there, and the one next to it. But
because that was there was this like golden 100 yards, wasn't there? Because you had Dave's Comics, Forbidden Planet. I think it was another comic shop kicking about there. There was some really good second-hand music shops as well.
It's mostly
it's like North Lanes, wasn't it?
Yeah, North Lane. Yes.
We used to kind of have that in Newcastle as well. You used to have Games Workshop at the shopping centre.
By the theatre.
No, by the shopping centre where they had the big room upstairs. I can't remember. The Newgate Centre. And then around the corner, you had Forbidden Planet and Travelling Man. And then across the road from there, you had Geek Retreat.
You've still got Travelling Man, haven't you? And
oh yeah, they're both there. They're virtually next door now because Forbidden Planet moved into the old Nat West building. So
got it. Used to love going in there. Anyway,
still do. Great shops.
Cool. Okay. Well, there we go. And we also know the ins and outs of the business model of Forbidden Planet, thanks to Mr. Bees.
I figured he would have some insight. That's why
he's going to know.
It's just one of those It's just one of those weird things. They used to be the same company, and I don't know what it was. Was it a disagreement or whatever? But
Mr. B's meta knowledge of the industry is second to none.
They split up, and
there we go.
Now they just sell Funko Pops.
Yeah, well, to be honest, that's pretty much every geeky store now, isn't it? Which is quite annoying. It's like all Funko Pops. I mean, I've got a few Funko Pops, but I'm not like one of these massive collectors.
I thought the time had been and gone.
I guess it's people have been collecting for, like, was it when you said the Games Workshop ones come out, something that people were queuing up for them?
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Sorry, not a huge amount of appeal, but yeah. Anyway,
apologise, everybody.
Go on then.
Last one I got was Sailor Moon.
Some people were given access to some of the new plastic Mechanicum range.
Oh, did you get yours?
No.
Mr. B?
No.
Oh.
This is both for...
That's a shame.
28 mil and Legiones Imperialis by the look of it, because there are two links. And some look very cool.
We got the studio painted up some, and then they sent some out to the community. So they did two lots.
Yeah, nice.
That red's very nice on those ones at the bottom there. The Say Hi Paul, whatever that is, whoever he may be, Paul Kirbishley.
The one by At the Wargamer. I like his chapping. He's a bit cool. Perhaps a touch too Necron. One might possibly hazard, but as we don't know what the Necron are in our particular universe, all power to him.
Aren't SN Battle Reports people that run Garrison Davos?
Yes.
Bit heck. Okay, fair enough.
I thought might have curtailed that.
No. 8 years?
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Hey, look, move on.
Those 50 views on Facebook that we're getting. Woohoo!
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, I'm glad we do things the hard way.
Grifters. That's what we are. Grifters.
That's what we are. We put the hard yards in so you don't have to.
Okay. 157 views. Someone watched an episode 2 from 2 years ago. That's good.
Really? That's good. There we go. Well, shit, it's got to be enough for half a thousand.
An Imperialis one.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Super cool models. Super cool paints. Yes. Well done, everybody, for doing some wonderful work and sharing. Yeah. I do like that. Vincent Notley.
The black and green.
The black and green one. Yeah, that looks.
Okay, really, that's interesting. I wasn't hugely impressed with that one, but
no, I think that green pops really nicely against that black, and that black is metallic. It's not matte black. It does
has a shine to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that looks really nice.
Okay, fair play.
In contrast to the sort of the coppery.
Nice. I mean, Henry from Gutenhammer stuff looks great.
Yeah,
that does look really good, I think. Yeah. Sprues and Brews. Sprues and Brews. They're good set of folks.
So Ratcliffe and Imperialis stuff looks super cool.
Yeah, very nice. So yeah,
nice. Well done, everybody. Well painted.
Yeah, good work.
Well painted. No complaints there.
No. Okay. What's next on the agenda?
You.
Me. I'm on the agenda with the release of Eidolon, the Auric Hammer. Mark Collins sat down with Warhammer Community for a little interview to discuss the character of Fulgrim's Lord Commander and how he fits. That's a poor choice of words. And how he fits into the Emperor's Children. So I can, that does not sound right at all.
Yeah, because he fits into the command structure as first captain.
Of course, right. That's good. I'm glad we clarified. Anyway,
you're better than that. You're better than that. I know. No. But I've got to say.
You've got to say it. Okay, cool. So I didn't read the interview because obviously it's fluff.
Graham's all about the grit.
I'm all about
if the book doesn't have a points title to total page,
absolutely, I'm not interested. I'm not interested, not even slightly.
Yeah, but I didn't realise that he was in the lore as far back as White Dwarf 255. So that was quite a way back.
Fair enough.
That far.
Okay.
Lovely. Right. What's next, Mr. B?
Mr. B.
So we've got Warhammer Plus getting its first Horus Heresy set animation with Kill Lupercal, which will be following along a loyalist princeps commanding his titans during the final hours of the siege of Terra. I must admit, there's a trailer, but it's not much. It looks cool, but yeah, we'll see how that. It's going to be hopefully quite good if the quality of the other shows is anything to go by.
Gotcha. 18 seconds of trailer.
Yes,
they're spoiling us.
They are spoiling us.
Okay. In fact, 8 seconds of that is just the title screen.
It's just
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love keeping your cards close to your chest there. Looks good though. In the seconds that we saw.
For the 3 seconds of foot that they.
Yeah. Okay. Could be interesting. Good. I like the idea of the.
Normally, when I'm watching a video on the internet of someone walking on somebody, it's a little bit longer than that.
Did you see, Chris, that they did one with?
Come on, we're better than that.
Too easy. Sorry,
too easy.
Mr. B. What did you say, our chap?
They did one with a Custodes in it recently.
Saucy.
Nice.
A female Custodes, nonetheless.
So nice.
That was actually quite good. The times.
I like the title, and I like the setting. That's the final hours of the Siege of Terra. That's going to be cool. Lots of crazy stuff going on, one assumes. So that'd be interesting.
Indeed.
Okay, Chris,
let's
over
go
to
back
you.
to some of the plastic. The long-promised Astartes melee weapons set has the last been shown off, and it's got a lot of stuff in it. But
we've got
people are always going to be annoyed.
Shopping list.
Absolutely. It has bits for both Mark III and Mark IV tactical squads, plus the Mark IV assault squad. Right. Pencils. Time to lick your pencils and
Mark VI assault squad. Sorry, is that Mark VI?
Mark VI. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, I suppose you could use it Mark IV.
Could do. 10 chainswords, 2 chainswords in sheaths, 2 heavy chainsaws, 2 triangle sabers, 2 thunder
house.
Bingo. 4 power swords, 2 power lances, 4 power axes, 4 power maws, 4 power fists, 4 lightning claw upgrades for the power fists, 2 augury scanners, 2 melter bombs, 2 slung bolters, 2 hand flamers, 2 plasma pistols, 4 Volkite suspenders, 4 Phobos bolt pistols, 4 Umbra bolt pistols, 4 Tigris bolt pistols, 3 empty hands, 10 heads, 42 arms to hold the weapons, and a partridge
in a pear tree.
Yes, that's exactly where we were going with that one. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yep. Okay, cool.
I might re-record that as in the actual
numeric
list. And
on the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 2 chainsaws and sheaths. It totally works, right?
4 plasma pistols.
No, 4 power. Yes,
4 power axes, 4 power maws, 4 power fist, and 4 lightning claw upgrades.
There you go.
Goes up for pre-order this Saturday. I've seen the price. It's £29.
Yep. Okay.
So that's not bad.
That isn't bad. I've got to be honest with you. Much needed. I mean, it'd be nice to have more Thunderhammers, to be honest. But a man can dream.
My only complaint is you only get 4 of each.
Aren't they all one-handed? Aren't they all in the same hand? So you can't.
Yeah, they're all left or right-handed.
Yeah. I'm telling you now, there are people who are going to get anal about having the fact that they've got different bolt pistols in the same squad. And they're going to be like, that doesn't work thematically.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't give a monkey's cuss.
Well, you might not, but some people will. I mean, I'm not so bothered, but
I wouldn't even know the difference between.
You can swap them around.
Look at a Phobos bolt pistol and an Umbra bolt pistol and a Tigris bolt pistol. I wouldn't know and I wouldn't care. It's got a bolt pistol.
I think it's more the fact that they'll have different in the same squad.
Don't care. Again, a file under don't care. Is it a bolt pistol? Okay, that's cool. I know it's one shot, strength 4, AP 5. That's all I need to know.
I like the slung bolter. That's really cool.
Okay. I think it's a good upgrade set. So 30 quid is not terrible.
No, there's a lot of stuff there you can use. The guy putting the sword at the sheath looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
I suppose. Is that Dave in marine form there? Left hand side of the heads?
I don't hold on.
Yes, possibly.
Dave in marine form. Oh, yes, it is. It absolutely is. They've modelled Dave.
Yeah,
that's me. Brother Dave is modelled and live in all his glory. Well, I was going to say that the guy pulling the sword out of the sheath, there's a little bit like an angry Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso.
Yes. No, I can see that. Yeah.
Football is life. Okay.
I'm trying to convince my mother-in-law to watch it because she's like, no, it's got football in it. I don't want to watch football. It's not about football.
It's really just not about football. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Just rewatched it actually. Okay, cool. So thumbs up for that, titillation or meh?
Titillation.
I think it's good. £29 is great, and I can absolutely see this being a common thing that people use in swaps.
I mean, considering back in the day we were spending £15 on 4 or 5 weapons.
Well, the old upgrade kit is.
I can see people going, I've got 4 Phobos pistols, I want Umbra. I can see people doing swaps that way.
Swapsies.
But yeah, I'd probably buy 1, maybe 2 of these just to have parts for Marines because it's great. Power lance, first time I think I've seen that in plastic.
It's a useful weapon, that.
Yeah,
that is a useful weapon. Okay, cool.
All sorts of things with that.
So next out the way, we've got. It does look like an essential purchase. I've got to be honest with you. At long last, we see our very first Dark Mechanica models that aren't an OP character, with the unveiling of a new set of models for Legio Imperialis with Surface Overlord Heavy Stalker, which comes in a box of 4. What is this business? Oh, these things, yes.
Yes.
Now these are the spidery.
They're like small Titan size.
Yeah, they're quite cool.
They are nasty looking.
They've got a very War of the Worlds vibe going on there,
which I really like.
I like to. Yeah, got to say, thumbs up there. Very cool. What do you say?
The thorax body has a familiar design aesthetic from another kit, and I cannot for the life of me think what the hell it is.
Yeah, that's the other. Erax Archer. The Stalkers are cool. Yeah, there's some nice stuff going on there. Okay, very good.
Yeah, they've also got the other box as well, the Tenebrax, Archer, Ursarax, Butcher, Battle Stalkers, and the Harpex Swarmer Scout Hosts. So they're sort of, they're coming in a box of 30 models.
They're weird looking things, those Scout Hosts, aren't they? What?
Yeah.
So they've got things getting crazy.
Things are getting crazy.
Dark Mechanica, and yeah, so
I do like the paint scheme as well. Actually, that sort of matte black.
Are they the Harpax? They're meant to be like is it the Sycalax? Well, they're
Skyrax.
I think maybe they're sort of
upright, sort of serpent-esque
yes.
thingy-majiggers.
Nice, very cool. Hope they come out in big scale.
Bet they're going to be an absolute chew-on to assemble.
They look proper fiddly, don't they? Okay, cool. The Dark Mechanica are designed to operate along the mortal Tagmata units when building your force, so give them a bit of an exotic twist. This way is a new expansion book for Legion Imperialis, The Rise of the Dark Mechanicum, which contains both the Tagmata and Dark Mechanicum army lists, and a new campaign to decide the fate of Magma City, one of the last loyalist bastions of Mars following the death of innocents. We've also got a lore article to cover the Dark Mechanicum and their origins for you fluffhounds, and an article on how the design studio brought them to life. So yeah, lots of stuff there. In fact, probably would have been a great release in 28mm.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully, eventually. Okay, so the only Golden Demon happened happening in Europe this year was at Spiel in Essen, and there was thankfully a Horus Heresy category in which bronze went to Saul Estevaz Jagatai Khan, which is a really, really nice model. I love that. But it's sort of more of a cream than a white, but it looks gorgeous.
That is something, isn't it? Wow, that is.
Yeah. Silver went to Nicholas Rubin Mortensen's Emperor's Children Praetor. So this is just.
Hold on, let me catch up.
I think that's non-metallic metals, but I don't know. It just looks really nice.
Yeah, it looks the business, doesn't it?
It does.
It's cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then gold went to Neil Horus's Horus Ascended.
Is that Neil used to do?
No.
Still do?
No.
Different Neil, isn't it?
Imperial. I'm getting my Neils confused. That looks great.
Yes, now I am. No, it isn't. Yes, it is the same guy. Yes, the same guy. He's also the fellow who got the little bit of controversy with his entry last at the American Golden Demon with his AI background.
Right.
So,
weird. Okay. That is fantastic.
Commended entries with Bart Shamir's Fafnir Ran, which is a really, really nice version of Fafnir. I love that banner. It looks just. And Stephen Berestein's Sisters of Silence, which again, they're really nice.
See, I think they're really close.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why do we even bother?
Yeah, exactly. That's
never.
Yeah.
Why do we even bother? Okay. And that's,
Jeepers. Some lovely models painted there. Okay, cool. Okay. Chris, to take us home.
Yeah. Hello. So, sorry.
Bless you.
We got a new set of colour schemes for the Solar Rocks and the Fourth Heraldry of Honor. So these are some new ideas for you if you want to paint your squishy humans and their squishy little tanks, particularly paint schemes. They're okay.
It would have been nice to sort of give you a clue as to what legions they fought alongside with.
Oh, these are the ones that don't fight alongside legions. These are sort of like the generic. So we've had.
You say that, but there's one of those that's definitely got the Eye of Horus on it. On the tank.
Yeah, traitor.
These are deathless.
These are sort of like the generics.
Okay. Fair enough. Right.
Eric.
Yeah.
Saturine Rams. That seems like that's quite a common scheme, that one. Or that's one I've seen painted before.
That's the
Forge World one.
Yeah, that's the Forge World ones.
I like the Byzant Janizars Lehman Russ Vanquishers. I think they look really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not massive fond of the
yeah. No, the tanks are great. What's the other saying?
Yeah. The Saturnine Rams. Yeah.
Good.
The Arcadian Janissaries. Yeah, I'd probably go with the Arcadian Janissaries. I think
I might go with the Leaf Ash Scorpion.
Again, super chaosy though. That's
okay. Yeah,
very much a 8-point start there, people. Just so we're clear.
So, very nice. Okay, we'll take it.
I do find those sort of colour me in paint scheme things a little bit creepy though. I don't know why. I think I'm just so used to the old sort
black
of
books.
Painted black book ones, and now they're sort of. I think it's the eyes. That's what it is. I think it's those eyes that are staring at you, going, "Please save me."
Very cool. Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. So next up, we've got some Q&A.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be able to their cues.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's had some letters in, so I figured we'd maybe talk about those.
Okay, so do you want to give the first? I'll read out the first one because I'm clearly the non-talent in the proceedings here. So hello, I don't know who this was. Long-time listener, first time writing in. I used to stick to painting basic models, but after listening to you guys while I paint and watching the November Echo crew, those Geordies are so good at this, I've started diving deeper into the hobby. However, I'm having trouble with my painting, specifically getting good coverage with Vallejo paints. I'm starting to question my decision to paint Imperial Fists. Very wise thing to definitely question. Do Chris and or Michael have any tips for painting the fists? And are Citadel paints, particularly the contrast range, any better? And that was a question from Ethan. So, over to you guys.
I mean, I painted all the yellow that I wanted to paint a long time ago now. In fact, it would approximately be 9 years since I last painted seriously painted a fist model. And when I did, I'll try and dig out a photo or two. My yellow was all shades of washes and built up that way, as opposed to slapping on a paint when I did it. I think with yellow, there isn't a one way to do it. There isn't a follow Michael's way, follow my way, follow anyone on the internet's particular way necessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
you're never going to get the yellow you might be after. Might just require a step that someone else isn't necessarily going to take.
Yeah.
I think with yellow especially, it's always a huge thing as opposed to anything.
What do you do you undercoat in white for yellow paint?
I did. I started white, and then I just built up. Sure. This is back when we had all the washes and things.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, you could probably do it with. I mean, it depends also if you're hand brushing or if you're airbrushing.
Yeah.
Because you've got Sigismund yellow, I want to say, which I think is a clear paint that you could put over the top of something.
Clear one.
I mean, it depends if you want flat or you want to go for a metallic. Because you could put a silver and then go with a yellow over the top of the silver to give it that kind of metallic feel to it. I don't have a way of. Oops, sorry, he's just passed down.
What about? I mean, I've never had a problem with Vallejo paints, and I use a lot of them. But maybe the
I think it might be yellows.
The yellow might just
yellows are bad paints all around. They're terrible. That mind you, I've used
you paint
Army Painter Fanatics, and they're really good.
Okay.
Lots really highly pigmented, really easy to get smooth coverage on. So I would recommend those for yellow.
Yeah, maybe give that a spin, Ethan. Just get yourself one bottle of that and give it a go. See how you get on.
I definitely say take a look at a lot of YouTube videos, see what other people are doing, and try and find something that works for you with yellow. I wouldn't necessarily say Citadel paints are any better. They're different.
Yeah.
They've got a different finish.
I wonder if
contrasts are fine if that's what you want to do. But
what would you do with the contrast? Would you use what's the undercoat for the contrast that you use?
You'd use a white, off-white, or
they have their own.
Yeah, they do. They've
got a flat white, a sort of just slightly cooler white, and a warmer white. So, and depending on what's underneath, and then also obviously if you do metallics, it'll be a metallic version. So,
okay, yes, sounds good.
Occasionally, there's an Imperial Fist hiding in a drawer near mine.
There is a cult. I mean, these are the people that I tend to watch from. If I want some inspiration for painting stuff, and that's Cult of Paint.
Yeah,
and there is a video up there for how to paint Imperial Fists. So Heresy era Imperial Fists. So maybe give that a watch.
I say it's a case. I would just say look at a few videos and take bits and just find techniques that work that you're happy with as well. Because some of them you might if you're newish to it, then
it's a lot of airbrushing and shenanigans.
It's easy to look at things and go, hang on a minute, that's way out of it. And just take your time and don't rush.
So I'm just looking at this model. I mean, they are incredible painters, these guys, but there's a lot of kind of airbrushing and then After Effects and airbrushing.
Yeah.
And suddenly it looks like, oh my God, that's incredible. How did you do that? But anyway,
with an airbrush, you'll always get a smoother texture on the model because you don't have brush strokes or any sort of, any potential kind of clumping in edges or anything like that, which rarely happens with a brush, but it can happen.
Right.
But it's just it's another skill to sort of take your time to get used to.
There we go. So Mr. B probably put that paint of yours in the show notes. To next question. Who wants to read this one out?
I'll try this one. To Michael and the talent, which I'm not sure if that's an insult based at me or you guys, or I don't know. Am I not talented?
I'm taking it. No, clearly.
No. Basically,
you're the talent here.
You're
the producer. You're the talent. That's how it works.
Right. Fair enough.
You're the organ grinder. We're the monkeys. That's kind of how in my head. That's how I perceive it. Monkey
fair enough.
Monkey 2, organ grinder, throwing us the peanuts. That's kind of.
Here we go. An interesting question popped up in my local group's Discord. What are some underrated tools you think are S tier, but most people probably aren't using? Mine are just the boring dental tools for green stuff sculpting.
Yeah.
Tools that maybe others people aren't using. Oh, I know. The UV curing resin.
That's
use
what I was going to say.
Yeah,
UV resin.
Fill in gaps. Use the little torch and cure it. Easier than trying to do it with glue or.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, it'll hold forever.
Yep.
It's a super useful thing to do. And the only problem with it is if you are a little bit liberal with the application of said resin, you can end up in a little bit of a
but you can get it in those gaps and then just use the light and cure it. And it's great.
Yeah, and if you're sculpting already with green stuff, then you'll be you should be able to quite comfortably handle it. But I would say UV resin. I can't think of. It's been so long since
I'm going to go with the those like cheesecakes that you can buy that come with the
cheesecakes.
Yeah,
the goo pots.
You're in the little jars.
Oh little ramekins, right?
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. That's the man you're dealing with. He claims to be a man of the people, but he's knocking back goo pots like they're going out of fashion.
It's from all our advertisers and sponsors. No, that's correct. But no, I use the ramekins to
Isn't that the name of your butler as well?
It is actually the
ramekin. Get me another goo. I
get what you mean. You're putting the bits in there when you're building and stuff, and
they're super useful, because you can put put bits in there. You can put water in there.
I use takeaway containers from the Chinese.
Absolutely. But also what I've found is if you keep the actual plastic top as well, I use it to mix up quantities of oil wash. And if you put the lid on it, it actually doesn't evaporate.
I'll tell you what,
it can be around forever.
I can see that. Yeah.
What is a super useful tool, and people may use them all the time, but we use them in jewelry. Inverted grip tweezers.
Oh yeah, I do use for decals.
Yeah. Absolute life changer.
I still struggle with that a bit. There's quite a lot of times when I've got a decal and it just flomps in getting from the decal thing onto the model. I always struggle with that bit. It's always a bit touch and go as to when I'm going to knack the decal.
My problem when I'm doing them is this room gets quite warm. So, and I wear headphones a lot. So I've got the fan on. I start doing decal work, pick it up off the thing, and the flipping fan flies it away. And I'm like, forget to turn it off.
You guys aren't hand painting your Legion emblems on the shoulder pad?
No. Anyway, interesting question there. Thank you, Simon. So there we go. S tier stuff. We've got reverse tweezers. We've got using 3D printer resin with a.
Oh no, sort of 3D printer stuff. It's you get it. It's it was Chris that turned me onto it because he used it for his his blood sort of stuff for his
love UV resin. It's
UV resin.
Things to play.
Yeah, it's just sort of UV resin. It's
you can buy dyes for it as well.
Yeah.
So generally it's
yeah.
So you don't have to paint it.
You can also use it to make sort of like water effects on stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, next question
nice
then.
and shiny.
One thing to do if you want to look at good tool ideas is go to a model shop and pick up any of the books that they often have. There's a good one I had for train set modeling, and that had a super cool list of tools in it that was really useful.
Yeah, train modelers, like, they're on another level.
Scale modelers,
modelers,
cool.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, look at everybody who does modeling, Gundams, all that type of stuff, because they're all doing different things, and maybe you can learn stuff from them.
Yeah.
Right.
Are there any 40k units you'd love to be able to play with in Heresy? They want to play with Ironclad Dreadnoughts and the Valkyries, which have been mentioned a couple of times in the novels. Valkyries, yeah, absolutely.
Skitarii. It's always the same answer, Skitarii.
Primaris Marines, does that count? I'd love to play with Primaris Marines.
Yeah, certainly would. I don't like the Primaris Marines.
Full stop. That's it.
Well, no, I quite like the Marines themselves, but I don't like their vehicles.
Oh, the vehicles.
The repulsor tank.
Yeah, the tanks. I don't like the dreadnoughts as much as I like the classic contemptors and stuff. So I do like a lot of the Chaos Space Marines.
To be honest, a lot of this is look at the Imperial Guard. Most of that.
Yeah, pretty much the guard range.
Like the Chimera as a
what?
Chimera. Chimera.
What's my hang on. What's my name?
Chris.
Okay. So CH.
All right.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I do like the new
Chimera.
The Manticore actually be nice. What's the Rogel Dawn tank? I think it's a nice looking tank.
That's a nice looking tank.
Yeah. Any of the Chimera chassis things.
Like Hellhounds, Manticore,
Hydra, Deathstrike. The Deathstrike, that was an absolute delight.
A lot of things.
Single missile, wasn't it?
It was a single missile that does absolutely incredible damage, but it was just
like a one actually, I think
shot.
If I remember rightly, you didn't know which round it was going to go off on.
I can't remember now.
It had really weird rules where basically you rolled a dice and it would kind of go off on that round, and then it would just like annihilate half the board or something. It's really cool.
It was basically an apocalypse barrage kind of thing.
Yeah, it's really good. Cool looking.
Can we go with Eldar as an option?
I was going to say, some of the
orcs as an option, because
Tau,
some Xenos races. I mean, let's not go crazy, Graham. The Tau don't even.
I mean, you could go with the old space dwarfs.
Leagues of Votan.
I'd like to see them in. They would be good if you could see them.
Yeah, it'd be good.
I would go with that.
None of the marine stuff, really. The marine stuff's all a bit.
I mean, in serious answer, it would be most of the guard for me.
Yeah,
and the Skitarii.
I mean, I'd like to see 30k orcs, like proper.
The flying land raiders thing.
Not jokey orcs. Yeah,
proper savage orcs.
Yeah.
You need to kind of AOS.
Not jokey.
Vibe, but
not jokey orcs. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
The only marine unit I think would be fit and be kind of cool is like the Dark Angels flyer. What is it? The Dark Talon or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That's still around. The Talon.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think I just think it's like a cool shape, compared to the other flyers. It actually looks like it would fly.
Okay.
We're thinking about different things here. That's that terrible space. I'm thinking of the old Chaos Marine Forge World model.
The Hell Talon.
Hell Talon,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Actually, Helldrake, that'd be good and that would be a good cool model in Heresy, late Heresy era. They still have the Helldrake because they've got it in Space Marine 2, and it reminded me what a cool model it was.
How many? I suppose you could proxy it as something else.
Something like
as a
lightning fighter or something, maybe. The
Soul Grinder was always a cool looking model.
Oh yeah,
he looked good in your demonic.
That was mentioned in one of the novels.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a cool thing. I remember.
He was a cool thing. Yeah, he was good.
What happened to all my chaos stuff? Yeah, my demon stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, anyway, we've got another question.
Another question.
Long one.
Yeah, and hi EOE. That'll be us then. Hope you're doing well. I thank you. I recently got introduced to Warhammer Universe through the video game Space Marine 2, and I absolutely loved it. The lore, the epic battles, the aesthetic really hooked me. So I was thinking of taking the plunge and getting into the tabletop side of things.
Just going to raise a question here. So he's just got into the Warhammer Universe. And he's ended up listening to this.
Okay.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah, very happy. Okay. However, as somebody who's totally new to this, I'm not quite sure where to start. I've done a bit of research, but there are so many models, tools, paints out there. A bit overwhelming. I was wondering if you could give me some advice on what I need to get started building and playing. Well, lucky you've come to us on this week of all weeks.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a list challenge. Yeah. We'll definitely carry on listening. We'll give you some ideas on where you could start in terms of a list. But what essential tools should I invest in to start building my first models? What kind of paint and brushes would you recommend? Blimey. For a beginner.
It's a big list.
There are particular starter kits, books, it's just somebody's completely new. And lastly, any tips somebody who's never played tabletop games but is excited to learn? Wow, such enthusiasm. Great to hear. Thanks so much. I really appreciate the guidance you can offer. Keep up the great podcast. I've been loving the episodes. Binge them almost after a recommendation from somebody on Twitch recommended us.
Wasn't me.
I was going to say, you should recommend us.
Yeah, that's recommend to stay away from us.
Marketing.
Yeah, Mr. B, you are literally sucked from marketing. You're the worst marketing person ever.
I am.
Okay. We've done a
essential
tool shit, but
it is.
If you've got nothing better to do, listen to us. I mean, come on.
Nippers and knife. Nippers and knife.
Don't go mad. Don't go God hand like I have but only for Gundam models. Nippers and knife, I think, are essential.
I mean, and you can pick up nippers from Poundland for £2.
This is going to be controversial.
Yes.
But I will also say one of those painting handles.
Yes.
Okay.
I would put that in because I thought you got to sometimes. I think it would just make your life.
It does. It makes life
a little bit easier.
See that?
Just as the process, especially as you're learning it, and coming in at it, I think it just
saves you touching the models and
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Gives you a little bit of space because it's easy enough.
Because otherwise you're holding the base and
that's right. Yeah,
a little more fiddly. Whereas this, you've got a grip.
Yeah, agreed. So nippers, knife, craft knife. Get the models out. Basically, you want to try and get the models out.
Super glue and activator spray.
Yeah.
Yes, activator spray is great. Super glue. I wouldn't go overboard. I just get these cheap things off Amazon, big pack of them. And
I think I've got Yoo-hoo super glue. I used to get Gorilla Glue, but it would always just end up with the lid stuck on. That's £4 wasted.
I use
activator. Great.
For my particular adhesive requirements.
I would say that the kind of key trick I find is the cleaner you can get the models out of the sprue, the less hassle you have in the next steps, which is to clean all of the bits you've missed off, which is a pain.
Yep.
A small activator spray, just because you're probably not going to know. Just you can get it on Amazon. You acts like an aerosol spray can. You spray it where you've just glued, and it basically the glue works almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to spend 5 minutes holding. Why can't I get this stupid arm to?
Or getting your hands.
Plastic models, plastic glue is better.
No, I use super glue.
Super glue for everything.
Super glue for everything. Absolutely.
Because plastic glue melts the joint.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is if you are using activator spray, for goodness sake, make sure you're gluing the right thing to the right thing. Because once you spray that on there, it's going nowhere.
But you can still freeze it and still break it apart.
Never tried
that. If you have any super glue on your hands and you get activated spray on that, it's going to get warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
So what about paint and brush?
And just a very basic set of files.
Oh yeah, that's
it's got a flipping shop in this place. Essential tools.
Okay. files I've used all the time. Sandpaper if you want, just something, just so, because there's going to be one little edge or something you're just going to miss with when you're taking the snips or whatever, and you want to get that as neat as possible. So you can buy them relatively easy. I mean, even nail files or anything like that, just something relatively abrasive. Good point. So it doesn't need to be crazy like metal ones, but
cool. Yeah,
those would be the sort of basic.
You're writing this down, Mr. B, so you can put it in the show notes for future prosperity. Of course,
I am.
What about paints and brushes? So obviously I'm going to go with a dry brush, because you can get some good effects with dry brushing early doors, and makes things look perfectly reasonable in my view, quite easily.
Dry brush. I mean, again, starting out, it's easy to go into GW or a model shop and just go, there's 12 different several sizes of brush tip. I clearly must need all of them. A large brush for large area, a small brush, I would say. Don't write a medium-sized brush, because you can still use the tip of the small brush to do relatively good fine detail work, I would say.
I would go to Amazon and just type in model brush set. You can get from about 12 quid, and it gets you 6 brushes. Just do that. Don't go and start spending like 10, 15 pounds or
Games
even
brush money is crazy.
It's crazy.
So
Amazon, and then you can, and even if those brushes knack up, you can just get some more later. So they're okay. I mean, they're not crazy. I've never spent a lot on brushes, to be honest, because I'm not a good enough painter to warrant the investment.
I mean, also the thing is, I mean, people get ready for being for earplugs in. I don't think it really matters. If I'm honest with you, I don't think it makes a blind bit of difference.
The only place where it might matter for some people is if you are a vegan and you want to go for synthetic brushes. So that might be a different situation there.
Guardian reading liberal elite.
So you might want to look on the materials.
Prefers panda hair brushes.
I like
anything
I go full
species.
Full Mr. Burns, full Mr. Burns. Capybara fur. That's all. The only thing I will take.
Anyway, so
it's not that they actually kill horses for the flipping stuff, but it's some people will.
Yeah, sable.
So I know.
Sable, doesn't that come from preachers? Sable.
Yeah, sable does. Yeah.
Anyway, I would say get yourself a set of those brushes and maybe buy one dry brush. You can buy dry brushes. Sets. Definitely. And really important.
Use the biggest brush you can for the job that you do.
There is another trick that you can do, which is to use makeup brushes.
Oh, yeah, for dry brushing.
Dry brushing. Especially particularly for big models. Yeah, you can get a big makeup brush. You can get quite a lot done.
And when rattle cans, obviously.
Prime your models first. I get the cheap stuff from Poundland. It's like £2 for a can of grey primer. It's great.
Yeah. What else? Washes as well as the other thing I would probably, in terms of paint though. That can get expensive really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're doing, I'm just going to have a look here. There are various starter sets that that various companies do. I know. I'm a bit of a harp on about this, but I really like the Army Painter Fanatic stuff. I think they do a starter set.
Citadel to a start? Because I've got to be honest with you, I prefer dropper bottles to getting the paint out of them.
Washes, I prefer the Citadel bottles, but for everything else, I do think I prefer the droppers.
The thing is, the advantage that the Citadel paints have, if you're completely fresh to this, and especially if you're playing Space Marine 2, all the color schemes for the armors in Space Marine 2 are the paints that you can buy from Games Workshop.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the dropper bottle element, which is a definite thing for down the line. It's going to make your life infinitely easier. But if you're not sure what the equivalent for a particular color you're looking for is, you don't want to spend
£5,
£6, £7 or £8 quid
trying to get ultramarine blue.
If you are going for ultramarines, I would say that I would suggest the War Paints Fanatic starter set. Again, Army Painter. it's got 11 paints in there that are perfect for Ultramarines. And it's about £25. And
no one says he's going for Ultramarines here, so let's not put this on the podcast. And he maybe have a bit of taste and a bit of je ne sais quoi about him, and want to paint something in some yellow.
Don't lock yourself into one range. Don't lock yourself into one range of paints. I think is important these days, because after different finishes, different.
Don't go mad. Maybe find a paint scheme beforehand on YouTube where somebody says, the Citadel are very good for, doing here's how you paint an Ultramarine. And I'm going to use Ultramarine as an example, right? And they'll say you need this paint, this paint, this paint, this paint. Or Duncan Rhodes is really good as well.
Duncan Rhodes is very good. I mean, his site is, you pay to join, but he's got a lot of stuff
on YouTube.
He's got a lot of free tutorials as well, especially for the more basic.
And I think they're really good.
I mean, that's what I think about if he's using Space Marine 2 as in point to the game.
Yeah.
He's got a shopping list of paints that he's going to there for him.
Yeah. So you can find those, I think.
There are absolute basics that you're going to want regardless. You're going to want a gold, a silver metal, a black, probably a brown,
blue, and a red. And you're right. Those are probably something like that.
I mean, if
a white and a black.
If you want to mix paints,
totally. So I would keep that and maybe do a test paint first on something. Don't go crazy and but also actually something else. Would you recommend getting something like BioStrip? Because there's a there.
But I would actually start with, and you mentioned test models there. Go to Games Workshop. They will sit you down with a Space Marine or a Stormcast Eternal, and they will literally teach you to paint an Ultramarine or a what do you call it?
Stormcast
Hammer of Sigmar. Yeah. And they will talk you through the basics. And they're really good at that. That is one really good point. That's one thing that Games Workshop are actually great for. It doesn't matter what wargaming you're getting into, be it a Games Workshop game or I don't know, Bolt Action or whatever. Games Workshop are a great first place to start for almost everybody because they are.
Yeah, that's a really good show. Actually, just go there and say, I'd like to paint. I'd like Space Marine 2. I'd like to know how to paint this. And they're probably trying to sell you a lot of paints, but they'll be the right kind of paints. Cool. Okay, very good. Starter kits, armies or books. Keen to get into the Horus Heresy in particular.
Custodes.
Custodes, they're really simple. Don't take a lot of models.
Go on, you finish that sentence.
So they're really easy, as in they're a simple scheme. If you can go really, really in depth and get that green and purple tints to your golds, or you can just do it gold and a wash and a dry brush.
That purple tinted gold that we see all the time.
No, he's right, because that's the sort of thing they do on.
Yeah, they're an army that you can go. You got looking in the sort of edges, and it's sort of in the recesses, and it's got those hints of gold. And some people can go really, really in depth and make it look like ancient weathered gold, or you can just do your basic, put on a gold, a flesh wash,
Retributor gold.
Yep, and you're done.
Agrax Earthshade, option or Reichland Fleshbane, or whatever it is.
Yeah, cost you less than anything else. They are fairly detailed models if you want them to be.
Yep.
But they're not complex enough that they're crazy difficult.
Yep.
You can buy a relatively small amount of them and have a relatively large army for.
Yep. And if it is Space Marines you want, well, the starter set.
Actually, the starter set's great.
What is it? 40
£195.
Is it 40 or is it 30 Marines?
30 Marines, 10 Terminators.
Is it 10 Terminators? Yeah, 10 Terminators, 2 Praetors, a Spartan, and a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And that is a good Corvin army.
Always the thing to bear in mind, that sounds like a lot of models, and it is a lot of models. So you could jump in and do that, but if you just want to get a feel for it before you do anything.
Box of Mark 6.
Just a box.
I wouldn't even get a box. I'd get them off eBay because people split up the things.
The big box. The other thing, and maybe I'll get in trouble for this one, is if you want to try Warhammer, maybe try something like Combat Patrol in 40k first, and then dip your toe in, because it's a little bit simpler. And you might, because if this is your first tabletop game, Heresy is sort of like the
small model count. Yeah, small model count. Okay, cool.
And the thing to remember is Heresy and 40k are rule set wise, very different games.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
if you spend £165 on a big box and you start painting, you're like, actually, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that thing of having 40 odd guys to paint, plus a dreadnought, plus a tank.
We don't have. I mean, I know we are very. It's just we always have fully painted armies because we've been around for a bit. But if you could find somebody who's like, actually, I don't mind, put the models together and just come and have a game, and then paint them as you go.
Yeah, contact your local.
I just mean it's just that thing of suddenly being faced 54 models is
a thing.
Daunting task when you've not done.
But yeah, I think Mr. B's got a right point there that actually maybe playing Combat Patrol or something, small model count, just to get the idea of rolling dice and playing a game.
There are plenty of free community created rule sets out there in Heresy that are on a smaller scale as well. So
very cool.
One-page rules and stuff.
Yeah, so you don't need to worry about necessarily. You'll need the rule book if you're going to play. You'll need the relevant Liber book for whichever army you're going to play.
Yeah.
You need. I mean, the rule book now has a lot of good fluff in it, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Liber books don't have that. They are just rules books. They don't carry
Mechanicum. I think I've got some in there, but not maybe as much as we back in the day.
Not the old black books.
I think I would say is if you first playing any kind of tabletop game, try and find somebody who is not trying to beat you in the first game, because that can put you off for life. So there are great people out there who will introduce you to the game because they want you to learn the game so that you enjoy it as much as they do. So just bear that in mind.
Have a look on Facebook and stuff like that. There's lots of groups. There's probably going to be a group, depending on where you are in the world, relatively near to you. And they tend to be fairly nice civil places. So if you welcoming. So I'm sure you inquire out there.
I mean, most groups like the fact that somebody's taken up the hobby, right? Because it's more people who are encouraged to play the hobby and more games to play and stuff. So it's always a good and
more meat into the grinder. That's what it
is. It's a great community of people, to go and we've met some really great people doing this and playing games against them. So it's a great hobby to get into.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you for those questions. Any more? We'd love to do that section again. It was really good. Cool. Shall we do the list challenge?
Yes, we shall.
Okie dokie, list challenge time. Everyone's favourite part of the show, I'm led to believe, or certainly we've been led to believe in the past. It's been a bit scattergun, but here we are. So actually, we have no scores on the scoreboard at the bottom there. That's
we'll try and do this properly.
Terrible state of affairs
next year.
I mean, that's a trophy going unclaimed somewhere.
It's mine this year. Already I've won it. That's why I'm not.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a novel approach. I like it.
It is.
There we go. So yes, list challenge this time round. We are doing so much of a list challenge. It's more. What is it? This challenge?
PSA.
It's a PSA with a slightly competitive edge to it. Because otherwise, why have I got out of bed this morning? Is the theme that at least two of us in this group would have said to ourselves when they woke up this morning. The other two, obviously, not me.
Yeah.
We're doing the most effective, cheap list we can come up with, but we're not doing the same as Graham said at the start. We're not all doing Raven Guard Space Marines or one particular army or legion or force. We are doing it from different points of view. So it's going to be slightly interesting when it comes to scoring some of these elements. Graham has chosen, we decided, I think in the last recording anyway, Graham is covering Astartes, so that could be any one of the 18 legions, and also Shattered Legions and what are the other ones called?
Black Shields.
Black Shields, yeah.
No idea what he's doing. So that could be anything from that area. Mr. B is chosen Squishy Humans.
Yep.
And he's gone with Militia or Solar Ox?
Solar Ox.
Solar Ox. And I went with Mechanicum / Custodes because one of those is infinitely easier for me to do than the other. So yes, so yeah, lots of options, and this is basically, we did this for a long time back now.
We did, yeah.
Probably a year 2, maybe. Maybe even year 1, year 2, that kind of. We're going back a bit, and things have changed. Things are not resin anymore. Things are plastic, and more things are becoming plastic all the time. So it's good to look at this again now that at least some elements of all of those armies that we just mentioned have plastic hearts to them, which wasn't necessarily the case up until 2.0 came out.
Yeah.
So yes, we shall see where we end up very shortly. Scoring criteria, just go through that momentarily. Obviously, whoever's got the cheapest list, cost is always the final decider. In this one, it's always been
it's always a factor.
Yep. Battlefield effectiveness, how we perceive it will that a trick list would do against the other lists being presented. Fun to play with and fun to play against, which is always the most abstract of all things, because I have a certain play style, Graham has a certain play style, Mr. B has a certain play style. So certain abstraction to that, because we all like little things, but we try and be as open-minded about it as we can. And I think that's it. And then whoever gets the most points of the 3 sections is crowned the winner of this challenge. So that, I believe, is the list challenge. Mr. B.
Yep.
Do you want to tantalize us? Well, it's going to be the tantalizing episode.
Yeah, okay. So we've got
squishy humans.
So we've got Solar Auxilia. So again, trying to keep this as cheap as possible. So it's all plastic. And we start off with the Expeditionary Navigator. So some nice shenanigans with the Navis Astrologist stuff they can do there. Then we've got a Legate Marshal. So this is your big warlord guy, armed with a Thunder Hammer and a las pistol. He's quite cool. The Thunder Hammer, obviously, if he gets into combat, is going to do something for him, but really don't want him to get into combat.
Is he? How would you model him? Sorry, are you modeling him from the command set?
If you get the command set, you essentially get a 6th character there. On the command sprue, you've just got to provide a base.
Okay, cool.
It's a bit weird. They put a character on there, but they don't give you the base from. So,
right,
it's a bit of a weird one. Sorry, go on.
Go on. No. So command set. Yep.
Then a command tertio to be sort of a bodyguard for him, and that is all with las rifles because you want more guns really in this army. And we're going to take the augury scanner, command vox, and the auxilia vexilia. Rhymes really.
Yep. Yeah.
And they are in an Aurochs. Now I've chosen to go with a Chimera as the Aurochs because I think it's about the same size and it's roughly the same job.
Sorry.
It's a metal box. But
I mean, there are certain clubs that I've been to, the sort where you have to wear a tie to get into, where that kind of behaviour you wouldn't get there being saying, I'm sorry, sir, you're gonna have to leave our club right now and never come back again, rocking up here with your Chimera, rather than a properly well proportioned Aurochs. I mean, they are. I think the Aurochs is a bit slimmer, and it's a cool looking model.
Yeah.
It's also like about £100 or something, isn't it?
Something like that. Then we're going with infantry tertios, 2 identical sections. Tertios.
Actually, just so we know so far. So you would have bought so far the command
set, a navigator, and a chimera.
Okay, cool.
Then this is where it gets expensive. We're going with 8 boxes of las rifle sections. Is it 8 or is it 4? Let me just double check, because you get 20 in a box, don't you? So 8 boxes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got 2 sections of 40 each. Sorry, 20 each.
Yeah.
Actually, I might need half as many boxes. I've given myself too many boxes. Okay. I only need 4 boxes.
Too many boxes.
4 boxes.
So how many infantry tertios have you got?
2 infantry tertios with 2 las rifle sections in each of them, fully kitted out to 10 men, all with las rifles and bayonets, and they've got their Vox interlock, augury scanner, and vexilia.
So you use the command Vox to make sure that they're using the leadership of your legate marshal.
Exactly. And then I've got a line command section in each of them with the troop master, again, all with bayonets and las rifles. I think las rifles are far more useful than any close combat weapon, because they don't want to be in close combat.
Agreed.
And those command sections have got a command Vox each.
So you've got 2 tertios. In each tertio, you've got 2 10-man las rifle squads.
2 20-man.
And a command. Sorry.
2 20-man.
In each one.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And then you've got a command tertio thing, section within that tertio.
Yeah.
And that, how many is that? Like another 10 guys?
It's another 5 guys.
5 guys, right? Okay, I'm with you. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So you've got 40 guys.
80 guys.
80 guys plus the 2 lots.
Yeah, so 90 total.
90 for each.
Yeah. Then in fast attack, we've gone for a box of Hermes light sentinels, arming these with the multi-lasers.
Nice. Okay.
And in heavy support, I've gone with a probably less than optimal choice of the Atheon heavy sentinels with melter lancers. 2 of them were melter lancers.
Okay. No Lehman Russes.
I have a Lehman Russ armor tertio here.
Very good.
2 strike squadrons in them, with 3 tanks each, both with vanquishers.
Yep.
And the command tank, which has just got the normal
battle cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 7 tanks in total. So
yes, I'm with you.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And then just to make it even cheaper, a Baneblade. I know it's not the most optimal of tanks. In fact, it's actually suboptimal.
But it's a nice 500 points, whatever it is.
650.
650 ridiculous points.
It's a ridiculous amount of points, and it's not. It should be 150 points cheaper to be quite frank.
It should, but it's gonna. It's how much are they? How much is one of those?
115.
115. That's not bad, is it?
So that's a big chunk of the army. That's what I was like.
Okay. So what's the plan here with this army, Mr. B?
Sorry, I forgot to mention there is a fortification. Is that
defense line?
Oh no, I took it out. I thought I'd put in a fortification, but I hadn't. I was going to, and then ended up putting in the Atheons because I thought the melter lancers would be a bit better. Plan with this one is lots of guys, hold the line, send the tanks forward, send the sentinels forward, and go there. Tanks go up the board. Sentinels try and do something as well. It's basically
Sentinels. Hang on. Sentinels try and do something. Mr. B, I think when we looked at the Sentinels, we were fairly disparaging about them.
I don't think they're bad. The heavy Sentinels, I don't think are bad. They're just wrong slot. I think the Melter Lance is pretty tasty, I think. Just get me where's the profile for that Melter Lance? Because I think it's not. I think the Melter Lance is just in the wrong slot. It should be a fast attack. Because in the heavy support, something else would have been better. Right. So Melter Lance is range 18, strength 8, AP 1, heavy 1, armor bane.
Yeah, ballistic skill 3, though, aren't they?
Ballistic skill is ballistic skill 3.
So yeah, okay. I probably wouldn't be moving those tanks because you want them behind the infantry rather the other way around, if I'm honest. But you could potentially do a sort of walking forward very slowly with your entire army to try and get onto objectives if you needed to. If you needed to. Okay, very cool. And what, pray tell, was the final cost?
The final cost? Oh, right. It is £837.
Crikey. Okay. That's all plastic, but still rocking in at a fair few quid.
It is still rocking at a fair few quid. Now, I think I'll have a look. Last time I looked, because I was thinking of getting another one of these a few weeks ago. The big box is still available, so it was still available at some places. Yes, the back. Oh no, it's gone now. It's gone now. Good. It was still available like a week ago, but you get the Dracosan in that as well. So
you do, yeah. Okay. Shall I go next? Because Chris has got a double header. Double header. So
should we let Chris do one and then
and
then
look at that.
So we don't have to listen to Chris drone on for so long. Sorry, I'm being mean. No,
that's entirely fair. That's right.
That was mean. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean like that.
Don't you worry.
I was trying to be jokey and it didn't. Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, Mr. B. Don't you worry. I know where I stand. So what I'm going to talk to now, I will do my custodies list very normally. Because I am going to drone on like an ant. Like an ant.
Come on, Treebeard.
So, here we go. Right, let's do the custodians because that's going to be about 4.5 seconds. Right, Tribune. No, not Tribune, the other one.
Shield
Captain. Let me just make sure which column I've worked this out on. Nope, Tribune, that's the one. It's 300 points. He is carrying 2 Meridian blades and an Archaeotech pistol. He will be modelled on the Blade Champion for his representative model. That's my HQs. Done. Heteron Guard. 5 of those chappies. You can use a couple of things for these. I would use the Custodies. I think they're the Warden models. They're the normal Custodies with the drapery, basically. They have got. I've given them the claws because I basically just took my Custodies list and went, yeah, why not? The claws and the lightning claws and things you can get relatively easily from various places, kit bashing it wise.
Yeah.
But again, you're looking probably 60 quid for the unit. I would think it's £40 for 5 Custodies in every kind of volumetric. So yeah, it's not too bad. And you could easily do them with all the spears and stuff if you wanted to. But I mean, equally, they do come with paired Meridian blades to start with. But it's probably easier to find pairs of twin lightning claws than it's going to be trying to conjure up 2 swords in each arm, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Which is why that was that choice. A squad of Aquilian Terminators. So this is these would be resin because there isn't actually a good equivalent in other 40k plastic range, because the Terminators that they have in 40k don't have a fist option. They only have spears and axes and things. So Aquilians, without spending a fair price, and also those the 40k ones where their joins and things are for their arms, it's probably more complicated to try and chuck fists and things onto those models. So yeah, I've got 4 Aquilians here. The only problem with having 4 of them is that you then have to buy 2 packs of them. And at £64.50 for 3, it's
a chunk of change.
It's a chunk of change that but you're adding it into
128 quid.
Yeah, exactly. So, right. Next up in the Elite's choices is an Achilles Dreadnought. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are removing the spear and we're replacing the spear with another Power Fist. Because then you can just buy a Contemptor Dreadnought for however many pennies you want. And
hold on a minute, I
go about it that way.
Slightly perturbed by Mr. B coming into the club with his Chimera, where obviously he was asked to leave. But coming in here with a painted up golden Contemptor and saying this, my friends, is a genuine bona fide Custodes thing. Well, you're likely to have a few stiff words from the membership.
It is, after all, a Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought.
Isn't there an Achilles Dreadnought kit?
Yes, there is, but it comes with a spear. I'm not going to use the spear. I just want to use the two fists. So why would I spend money on a resin model when I can buy a plastic model that does exactly what I want it to? Just doesn't have necessarily all of the
let me have
particular
a quick
trimmings.
Yes, that's the thing, though, right? Because will the trimmings be important here?
I don't think so.
They might be. I feel they might be.
I don't think so, because I'm not using that fist.
I'm not disputing your validity in what loadout you're going to want to put on your Dreadnought. I'm disputing whether using another model to proxy for that model is something that would people raise an eyebrow? I mean, they're all gold to me, so it makes no difference. But there may be rivet counters out there who go, "Excuse me, that's a Contemptor Dreadnought, you cheapo."
Well, that's fine, but you can then point out to them in the rules that it's a Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought. It's got it in the title.
Okay,
it's a variation of
which looks different than a normal.
It does, but that's just that particular one. That's
Oh my God, it looks massively different. I mean, it's not even slightly different. It's got all the trimmings on it.
That's only fractionally different, I would argue.
I tell you, people of the internet, you're going to have to be the judges of this one, because you've got this lovely Custodes Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought, which has got this fantastic filigree
spear that I'm not using.
Yeah, no. The model itself is very distinctive in comparison to a plain old bog standard Contemptor Dreadnought with no trimmings.
If you looked at the bog standard Contemptor these days, that is a thing of artisanal beauty.
The Achilles Dreadnought looks fantastic.
That is look at that lovely,
beautiful model. Look at that. I mean,
it's a £33.50 difference. So,
hey, look. Competitive edge. Let's not forget.
That's a lot.
Let's not forget.
To be honest, I'd give him it.
Yeah, I know you would, but there's a lot of people who wouldn't.
Look, this is for people. This is supposed to be cheap as chips lists.
And effective. And a Contemptor Dreadnought.
Do you want somebody in their first game just to get everybody to go, what's he brought there? What sort of Dreadnought's that? Oh, it's a Contemptor Achilles. Chris said it was all right.
I'm not a knob who's going to start shaming someone for not spending 75 quid on a model when they could have spent 40.
But there are people out there, aren't there, Mr. B? You cannot deny that.
Unfortunately, there are.
Absolutely. I believe they attend Heresy Davos.
Well, I'm going to just put this on the Custodes Reddit and see what people say.
Go for it. Go for it. Come at me, bro.
40k, you used to be able to. You can take just a standard Contemptor for the Custodes. So I do believe you can. I don't actually. Can you still?
Hey, look. Yes, you probably can.
Okay, we're past the Dreadnought.
It's a Gravis Power Fist. It's the same. You can have the incinerator for the flame of hands. So it's doable.
Controversies.
Hey, look, you gotta find those 1% wherever you can.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Right. This
is for the people, Graham, and the people want cheap.
Maybe. But okay, go on then.
Hey, look. I may not do it personally, but this isn't, that's not what this is about. I own 2 of those guys with spears, so I wouldn't necessarily do it in my own way, but that's not what this is. A thought.
Thought experiment.
Thought experiment. Exactly.
Actually, no, you can't take them in standard 40.
Shut up, Mr. B.
Just to be able to.
I know you did. You're not helping my case. Right. And then we have 4 Guardian squads. All with 2 extra, so we're not wasting any models. So that's £40 for each squad of spear guys and gals, and there is a Guardian axe in each one of those squads, which I believe they come with in the robed Custodes models these days. So you could use them again and again. They're 40 shiny gold pieces. There are 2 Adrosite spears in each one of those squads, so you are going to have to spend £40 on 2 upgrade kits.
Yikes!
To get the 8 spears that you require, having 2 left over for down the road, because they come in packs of 5 and they're 20 quid a piece.
Gotcha.
Yar. Youch. Indeed. And then we have a controversy. There we go. Controversy.
You thought the dreadnought was bad.
You thought.
Don't tell me you've got a Chimera in here and you're going to use it as a.
I've got a Rogel Dawn tank. I've got a repulsor tank, and it's going to act as a Caladius.
Yeah.
No. I have used the 40k jet bikes in place of the Agamantis jet bikes. That's acceptable, is it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, just brace yourself, because one of those jet bikes is going to have a Corvée Les Pulsar, which you cannot have on the 40k models. They don't have an option to do that. So you are going to have to find some way of kit bashing a las cannon on there, which I don't think would be massively difficult to do.
It's faff, but yeah,
it's faff, but it's passable. Faff,
doable. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I toyed long and hard with what to take, whether to take the big guy or not, and I reined myself in, and I've just taken a Caladius tank, because it's the best tank that James West make aesthetically. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's a different option and
not terrible.
It looks not terrible. It looks super cool. Looks like nothing else, and
quite effective. Expensive.
Effective. 112 of your finest English pounds. So
£3 more you could have got a Bane blade.
Well,
how much is a Bane blade, Mr. B?
115.
Yeah.
So the rest of the Bane blade less useful to this army than
agreed
than that. So that whole 2,940 points. Would come to £599.
Ouch! I mean, what's the model count there actually?
Relatively high. 10, 20, 23, 20. It's about 35, 40 models.
Okay, quite a lot for Custodians.
So, yeah, quite a lot for them.
Okay, very good.
High model count. I mean,
what's the plan of attack?
Get stuck in.
Literally,
there's only one.
There's only one plan of attack with you, isn't there? Of course.
Yeah.
Run forwards,
and
get stuck in as quickly
bang
as
it
possible.
off the armor, and absolutely.
Yeah, and try not to get 10 las cannoned off the board. No. But you got that dreadnought slouch.
Exactly. So yeah,
he's a proper handful. And okay, cool.
Yes.
So relatively cheap, relatively high model count, reasonably effective against most things as long as it gets into it quick enough.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, shall I talk you through my little schedule into the world of Astartes?
Go for it.
Cool. So this actually could be a number of chapters would work with this. Legions would work with this. So Iron Warriors would be good for this list. So would Imperial Fists, because they just get all the cool rules and you can win with them really easily without any skill required. And maybe Ultra Brain. So this is what I've got. So this is basically using 3 boxes. So first of all, obviously with the Astartes, you get the huge advantage of having a £195 box set from Willhammer. And using that, you can get a fair way. So I've got 2 Centurions using the 2 figures that are the HQ types in there. One of them's Chaplain.
Yep.
Armed with, what's it Chaplain got? The Chaplain has got a plasma pistol and a power axe. That's what he's modelled with. He's got a big axe. But he's a Chaplain, so he's going to give you re-rolls. And that'd be mastercrafted as well, because it's a Croesus Arcanium or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is a Champion. So he's just going to be using that big sword as a Paragon blade.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, pretty useful in a scrap, that guy. Quite tasty, up close and personal. I think he becomes an Iron Halo as well, so 4+ invuln. And then I'm going to take one of the Cataphracti Terminators, and that's going to be my Praetor Cataphracti guy.
Gotcha.
So he's going to be the Warlord, and he's going to have basically. I've done this Legion as Imperial Fist, so he's got the Solar Marshal Warlord trait from the Imperial Fists, which, if memory serves, gives him loads of cool stuff for nothing. A lot of stuff with the Warlord, all models are friendly of unit that gets +1 to their weapon skill when locked in combat with one or more enemy units that have the trait to allegiance. And it gets a literal reaction in one of the opposing phases as long as the Warlord has not been removed as a casualty. So can only be taken on the Warlord's unit though. So that's pretty cool. So he's in there, Cataphracti armor, grenade harness, Magna combi weapons. I've given him the combi disintegrator, the old instant death special. Yep. And
don't see that very often.
And a Paragon blade, which I think you can probably model from some of the stuff that's in that kit with a little bit of work. So obviously the Terminators I don't think come with power swords. I can't remember what's in there, but some minor alterations required. And then I'm going to use the Dreadnought, and he's going to have the Gravis las cannon and a Power Fist. So can do some cool shooting with that Gravis las cannon, and also the classic Power Fist Brutal 3. Super useful.
Yeah.
With just an inbuilt bolter. So got 3 HQs, 1 Dreadnought, and then I've taken the Pride of the Legion Rite of War, which is quite important for this. So I've got 1 tactical squad, so just a 10-man tactical squad, and plasma pistol on the sergeant because I had 10 points left over. Then I've got a Terminator Cataphracti squad with the Spartan as a dedicated transport.
Yep.
So 9 of these guys, and I've given them Solarite power gauntlets using Power Fists as power gauntlets. I mean, there's no such, and Thunder Hammers. So there might be some additional cost coming out of this, probably from the new set, to do that kind of shenanigan with. So yeah, and then 3 with Lightning Claws, paired Lightning Claws, and 1. So that's it. So I've got 8 of them, and the sergeant's got a Thunder Hammer. So so I would need to spend some money on Thunder Hammers, possibly third partying those out if I couldn't get them natively.
You can get them in a upgrade kit.
You can. That's true.
Yes.
So 4 Thunder Hammers, 3. Let me just check again. So 3 lots of Twin Lightning Claws, 2 Solarite Power Gauntlets, which are strength 10, if my memory serves. Super useful, doubling out toughness 5 things.
I don't know if they're strength 10.
They're AP1. They're AP1, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's Custodian's ones are strength 10.
No, they are strength 10. Strength 10 AP1.
Mastercrafted?
I don't think they're mastercrafted. I think they're just strength 10 AP1. Okay. Because why not? Because
okay, all the cool goods.
All the cool stuff goes to the Imperial Fists. So that's a pretty effective squad.
Point.
And then I've got 2 veteran squads, which is for the other 20 normal Marines in there. So I've made them veterans. So quite expensive, but quite handy. Bolt pistol, bolter, chainsword on all of them. and Legion Vexilla in there, so don't run off, and a sergeant with Artificer armor and a Solarite Power Gauntlet, because I'm a big fan of a Solarite Power Gauntlet. Strength 10, AP 1 for obvious reasons. So 2 squads of those exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then heavy support can have 1 slot, but I've got a Kratos squadron. So 2 Kratoses armed to the max. So Melter Blast Gun, 2 las cannons, whole mounted las cannons, pintle mounted, whatever it is, the Eliastus assault cannon.
Yeah.
Because why not? And you can buy that upgrade guy to do that, and the Decurion Defensor to add some more points onto those tanks. So he's the one that can do the return fire, I think, with the main weapon.
Yep.
Dozer Blade, of course, Flare Shield, of course, and Searchlights. So these rock in at 445 points a pair for 1. So that's a nice 900 points there. And that's it. So 3 boxes plus the Decurion upgrade that you can buy. Gives you 3,000 points of reasonably effective army list. So the plan would be the Kratoses are going to be a big draw for firing, but they're also going to be super good at dealing with anything that's got a lot of high strength that needs to be dealt with. So the Melter Gun is particularly good.
Kratos is a great tank.
It's an expensive tank. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the most optimal tank, but in terms of one of them costs £87 or something, or you can. It's 450 points, so it's actually points for money.
Bang for buck.
It's right up there. And again, maxing it out with the Decurion and the Eliastus cannon and the Flare Shield and everything else does make it quite unwieldy. But yeah, everything else comes from the box set. So basically, in terms of total cost, it is. I had it a minute ago and it's disappeared annoyingly. Where are we? Very good. So it is 170 plus 195, so that is £365.
There you go. Plastic
plus the decor. So it's probably in terms of other bits as well. I would say it's probably going to be about nearer the £400 mark.
Yeah.
Okay. So
once you take any resin out of an army at the moment, it does make it.
Yeah. I mean, I did think about the super heavy, but the Kratoses were cheaper.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? For the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For the points, they are.
So you can basically go into Games Workshop, get 3 boxes, and come out with a full army.
Yes.
Nice.
Imperial Fists as well. So if you want to extend it down the line to one of their, like Stone Gauntlet or whatever, using breaches, hopefully you'll come in plastic at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It will work.
Yeah.
So the idea is drive forward with the big Cataphracti squad with the 2 HQs in there, and all 3 HQs in between the Praetor, the Champion, and the Centurion. The Chaplain, so that they get hatred. Shoot everything else with the long range guns off of the Kratoses, and the veterans are no slouches either, so I'll get them on scoring duty along with one humble veteran squad kicking about doing now. So and they were all line, actually, all of those, the troops were line because of Pride of the Legion. So I think that would probably work, and relatively cheap. 400 quid's not bad.
No, nice.
Cool. Okay.
Definitely going to be the cheapest.
It's the easiest and cheapest thing to do there.
Yeah. I could have brought the custodians in under that, I think, but needed some good fun units in there as well.
I think it was about making things effective or varied.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You probably could have just spammed one, had actually just one HQ, one 10-man squad or something, and then just spammed Kratoses in 3, for example, which would have worked, probably been, but it still probably would actually be more expensive to do that than just getting the box set, because the box set is super value.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so voting then.
Hang on.
Oh, you got a second.
He's got a second list.
I got a second list, but I appear to have lost a model from it somewhere. Oh, no, I didn't. I just changed it out. Right, so Mechanicum, just to warn you, this is still not a cheap army to do.
I imagine this is going to be the most expensive of the bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. there are plastic units for them. Regrettably, though, the units that are plastic are not necessarily the ones that you would
want.
Yeah, so it's your troops that are plastic, and that's kind of it currently. So outside of that, you're still paying a lot of money for stuff that you need, which is a real problem. So the most I used the Battle Group box set, which saved me 70 quid in doing this list. I still using that, rocking at £881.
Right.
It would have been 950 otherwise.
Gotcha.
So I have the Archmagos model, the one that we discussed earlier on. I took him, Corpusant Dave, Machinator Array. I gave him rad grenades because rad grenades, super useful indeed. I think he's like £24 or whatever. I tried not to fall into the classic trick of Mechanicum HQs and just spam loads of stuff on them because they get all the toys. So I've kept him relatively minimal. But the rad grenades are the thing that are most useful in him or with him then. In my elites, I have a squad of 6 Myrmidons, the assault ones.
Yep.
Now, axes, but their axes only make them strength 7. They don't make them strength 8. So they're not doubling people out. So they're not getting any of that fun instant death joy, but they are still going to be a nuisance to anybody. They have got a Triaros as their transport because they had to have they didn't have to, but I want to get them around the board or get them over the board relatively rapidly, and that's the quickest way.
That's a good way to do it.
Absolutely. And in the box set, there's one in the box set, so that £130 has partially been paid for because normally it's just under 60 quid for a Triaros. So definitely worth investing in that box set. Then we get on to troops, and that's where we kind of get into it's an objective game. You've got to have a sensible amount of troop choices to take objectives, hold objectives, and live your best life. So I have one squad of 6 Thalax with 2 phased plasma fusils. So that would be the 6 that are in the box set. Which saves me X amount of money. I then have a second squad of 5 with 1 phased plasma fusil, which is costing me £47.50 in pennies. The 2 Castellax from the box set are both obviously going to have Dartfire Lances because classics.
I mean, there is no. I mean, I would say that I was using Dartfire Lancers, and they always seem to feel they should do more than they do. And I was thinking, I wonder whether if a multi-melter might be a better option. Same points.
I think it's just the range with the Dartfire Lancers that.
I mean, they used to be 60, but they're 36 now. So it is 12 inches longer than a multi-melter for sure. But they get hot as well. And they always seem to get hot annoyingly, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. So you can end up shredding your own wounds with them. So on paper, you think, I reckon 6 shots with those would go through a Spartan because they're obviously lance. So they're, getting glancing on 5s, penetrating on 6s. But it just never quite seems to work out that way, unfortunately. I've been umming and ahhing whether
they can. So with the because you have to take a order of the Techno Arcana.
So he can join them.
Yeah.
Cybernetica,
I took Archimandrite.
Okay, so you can take two of them, can't you?
So he's a master. My HQ is a master technomancer. So models of the Battlesmith special rule and attachment, including models of the special rule, may have the following effect to list of options. They apply to units of the vehicle, dreadnought, automaton unit type. Until the end of the shooting phase, the target unit may make shooting attacks using the ballistic skill of the model that successfully used the Battlesmith rule.
Yeah.
Now, it used to be when they did psychic powers, it would affect one model in the unit, but now it affects the unit.
Yeah.
So that's a bit more useful for them, and also I will be asking a question down the line as to how far a unit stretches in correlation to that rule. Right. Anyway, and then I have 20 ad secularis in a Chiaros. So I have 3 line units in my 2 Thalax units and the ad secularis, because that is my internal minimum for scoring units. It's always 3. And again, in the Chiaros, just to get them onto an objective without losing too many of their comrades before I start having to make those 5+ feel no pain rolls that they quite happily have. Now things get expensive, because now we get into the heavy support section.
Oh yes.
So this is going to be unpleasant. So we have 2 Krioses, if you can get them anymore. I've gone for the Venator option for the tank hunting ability. They unfortunately rock in at £994.50 each. So that's 200 quid on 2 models there. That sucks. I then have 3 Thanatars in a single unit. So, because I quite liked that whole thing about them being able to use the weapon skill of Battlesmith when he uses that ability. Because technically they're a unit, although they do operate independently once they are separated. So would that rule apply to a single one, or would it apply to the whole unit of them?
Sorry, what was that? I was reading up about Archimandrite because I was curious of your next question. So sorry, is that run it by me again, Chris?
So the Thanatars operate, they're the same as dreadnoughts basically. When you place them, you buy them as a unit.
Yeah.
And then
they can
bugger off and do their own thing.
Yeah. Yep.
If the Battlesmith uses his Master Technomancer.
So the problem you got with the Master Technomancer is, to use it, you have to be in base to base with the model, because that's how Battlesmith works.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I see what you mean, is how far away does it affect the whole unit? They're not considered a unit, because they're like, once they split up, they're no longer considered a unit.
Gotcha. That's fine.
So so they're like dreadnoughts in that regard.
Yeah.
But it's a good shout. It would be interesting if you had like Krioses and did the same thing, because they are a unit. But it is a weird one. That is it, because to use Battlesmith, you've got to be in base to base with the unit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does say unit. So actually, it says no, it doesn't. It just says it applies to units with the vehicle. Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
So if you've got into base to base with the Krioses,
vehicle, dreadnought, or automata unit type target by the person, until the end of the shooting phase, the target unit may make shooting attacks using the ballistic skill of the model that successfully used the Battlesmith.
It's not the target model; it's the target unit, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you had Krioses, let's take Krioses as an example,
and unless it's been
and you were in base to base with it, with that, you could boost the ballistic skill then to ballistic skill 5 or whatever your Archmagos had for both of them, I think. But I think with the Thanatars, they're not technically a unit anymore. They're 2 separate entities.
So I think, let me just find it. Where are we? Special rules, that's it.
But bear in mind, you can take 2 cybernetic and arcane there as well.
Yeah.
So a quick look at those.
I was just. Oh yeah, it does specifically say, and are not treated as a single unit. I just misread that when I was looking through it.
Okay, got
it. But yes, I guess if things are still a unit, then yes, it'd be fine. But yes, so I've got one of the las cannon ones and two of the bombard boys.
Wow, nice.
Because I want a lot of bang for my buck, basically.
Okay, that seems fair.
And if I can rain down plasma hell on anyone on an objective or around objectives, these are the two of the three boys that are going to do it. So
here's an interesting little snidgen for you, how to get around this. If you took Artificer Machina as one of your Cyberthurgic Arcana, then it says basically, instead of making a shoot attack, the Cyberthurgist with this Cyberthurgic right may apply the effects of any version of the Battlesmith special rule they have to a single model in the vehicle dreadnought automata unit that is within 12 inches of you. So you wouldn't have to be in base to base to get your thing to work, which actually could be quite handy as well.
Yeah.
So you could basically be 12 inches away, and you could pick which one you wanted to get it from, rather than having to be in base to base with that one or that one.
Yeah, because that's also the thing of, I was wondering about it being the unit, if that makes sense. So if they were still the unit and they were all within.
Yeah. Within, I see what
12, you could,
But you could definitely use that and that to boost.
Yeah. There are ways to get around it.
You can also then repair your automata with that as well.
Yeah. So
nice.
Super useful one. Yeah, there are some cool things. So yes, and that's £950 if you can't buy the and sorry, I do have two Moriaxes just for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Why not?
No, they are £47.50 each.
Yep, gotcha.
So yeah,
they can be very hit and messy as well.
Yeah, I mean the Krioses are a single unit, so I could use the Ballistical 5 on them.
You totally could, and I would recommend doing so.
Yeah, I can do it on them. I can do it on the Castellax. I can do it on the big lads if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, once the Archmage just bites the bullet, which is going to be, he's either going to be hanging at the back, which is more than likely, or if I'm feeling particularly adventurous, he may go with the Edsec Yaris, but chances are fairly minimal on that happening.
Gotcha.
And just a way I live a time.
I think there's some cool things with the Arc Mandrite thing and multiple Cyberthurgic powers, but you can only cost one per turn.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
But yes, it's still. I went into it's still it's still a lot of money relative to the other lists.
Yeah.
But just the big stuff just isn't in plastic yet. We've only got one type of Thanatar that's plastic, which is the Bombard one. The tanks aren't plastic other than the Triaros, so it'll get there, but it's just in a weird. And the Myrmidons are still, unfortunately,
resin, and they're going to be expensive. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so
they're a lot of money.
Obviously, it's a lot easier, and they want people to play the game. So that's why I think the Space Marines are the gateway drug of choice here. So they win the cost. What about themes and effectiveness? Battlefield effectiveness. Given the two, I think the Custodians would probably do. I
think both of my lists are specialist in their complete other ends of the spectrum. But if they were to fight each other, the Mechanicum would win because they would gun down the Custodians.
I actually think Graham's list might be the most effective.
The tanks are a hard thing to look past, certainly.
Terminators with Solarite Gauntlets and Thunderhammers.
It's
hatred.
Hatred is never fun. And also you can build quite easily out of that list. So I think I think either of yours would I would go with we'll go with the Space Marines, just because also numerically you're wanting to roll more threes than you are 4 pluses to get your your dice off. So
yeah, that's true. I think Volume of Fire though, Mr. B's couldn't be laughed at.
No, absolutely. No. I think there's.
I mean, 40.
There is enough there to
40 guns going at you. You know, they can all react. Remember, if he overwatches, the whole Terraco can react to that if they're within X of each other. So you'd end up with a lot of dice rolls, even against like a 5-man custody squad with a 2+ save.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 40 las gun shots is my custody's worst nightmare because I've only got to fail a quarter of them, and it's all over. And it's game over. Yeah.
And like I say, five of those or 10 of those guys is the same cost as one of your guys, and so they can take the casualties.
But I think the thing is, once you get past the shooting element of them,
they had it.
Then once you're in and amongst them, you're going to cause real bother. Even 40 guys with 1 attack each or whatever, they're going second, and
you just need to fail a leadership test, basically.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they are stubborn now, I think, with that provenance, whatever they call it now, with the legate marshal, I think is stubborn, so it gives them stubborn through the command box. So they do take some shifting, but they will die very quickly.
They will, yeah. I think my mech list would have a lot of fun against that. Because
I think your mech list would definitely
the Thanatars would just go,
oh yeah,
thank you very much, chaps. They gobble you up.
It's definitely worth overcharging Thanatars, even if you take D3 wounds.
Yeah.
Because you can get those, particularly if you had your Archmagos preparing wounds every turn, which you can do with his, if you took other Cyber 30 things.
30s.
Very cool. Okay. So what about theme then? What's the themey one? I liked both of yours, Chris. I think.
Yeah, both of Chris's were pretty good.
I mean, mine is fairly standard because it's a standardish list. It's nothing, not doing anything.
Yeah, nothing too interesting in mine. Men and tanks.
Generic Marine.
Personally, give it to the.
I don't know. I think it had something.
Yeah, I quite like your
super defensive. You played it super defensively and didn't move the tanks or anything else for that matter, and let them come onto you. You'd have a pretty good chance. I think make it quite an interesting game.
I think there's something to be said. The Custodians are basically John Cleese in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's who they are. That is, run forward, stab things. That is their respective idiom. They have a theme built into them.
That's what it is.
And I think the AdMech have exactly the same thing, but they have it from the opposite approach. Theirs is, you're 4 miles away. Excellent. Let me just bombard you to death. I don't think. I mean, you can make an assaulty AdMech army, but
you're never going to be as good as Marines at doing it.
No, and you're going to be spending a ton of cash doing it as well.
Cool. Okay, so
I would give. I would.
Out of the two, I think. I do quite like Mr. B's actually, but I think
I would.
I like
Mr. B's.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. B, you win the theme.
Okay. I mean, I was going to give it to Chris, but myself, I would give Chris Custodes one the theme, but I suppose. Yeah.
Only if you can't work for yourself. Cool.
Yep. No. Chris's lists were quite nice. I love. So was yours, to be honest, Graham. But they all kind of fit. Fit what they were supposed to do.
I love Custodes. There just isn't. There isn't a huge variety of what you can do with them. So I think when it comes down to things of theme, unless you're actually building them, painting them, and creating a theme and a story that way.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, those bikes are handy though, aren't they, as well? I mean, overlooked.
Yeah. I mean, the spears are pretty useful. Strength 10, AP1, 1 attack, I think it is. They're pretty cheap. So, yeah, they're not. No one in there is a slouch, but I would say Mr. B's probably got the most interesting theme. But I mean, as I said, your list is a good list for someone that's
it's starting out. You'd do all right with that, I think. Yeah. And it's not super complicated. It's only there's not a huge, like, lots of different rules going on there. It's basically here's tactical squad, veteran squad, Terminators, 3 HQs, and
covers
tanks.
the bases. And,
Okay, cool. That's that then. That's good fun. So but you can get for 400 quid. You can get a reasonable army. I think is the takeaway.
I mean, how much is yours, Mr. B? Just
was 800 and something, 837.
Yeah,
a chunk of change to, isn't it? For
so it is.
It's 40 quid on tanks, and there's 7 of them.
Of course, that's it.
Yeah.
I was just in my brain trying to work out where the £800 comes from, but
and you've got £115 on the Baneblade as well to make the points up.
Yeah,
because that's the other problem, isn't it? Because although you can get a lot, it's not a lot of points involved in it, so you have to get a lot of it, or get some big units to bolster it. So,
or you hope that someone doesn't mind if you turn up with your Legio Imperialis tank squadrons.
It's going to proxy these.
That's it.
So I think but I say, and also bear in mind the other advantage of the Space Marine list is you get the books and the templates in the box set.
Or
get one book anyway. So there's
the rule book, don't you say?
So it's not a bad intro.
No, absolutely. Cool. Graham is the winner.
I think I did win this one. Well,
yes.
Yeah, I did have it was somewhat advantage having Space Marines because it's the gateway in.
It's the gateway drug. I mean, you can do. I looked at some other options, but I'd already said I was going to do mech. Demons you can do relatively inexpensively because there's a big range of plastic models for the demons now, which is good, and they're relatively interchangeable. So you can, if you want to have a traitorous feel about your play, there's certainly a way to go, and you could probably do that for 400 quid, I would think, quite comfortably for a demon army quite easily.
True enough.
So there are lots of relatively much more inexpensive. If we'd been doing a mech army 2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we'd have been looking at
way more,
twice what I'd price those up at. So it is a better age for accessibility.
It is, yes, good. That is good. Okay, cool. Should we move on to the finish?
Okay, thanks for joining us for another show. It's been fun. So if you enjoyed it, please leave some reviews on iTunes, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Links will be in the show notes. And give the page a like too. That'd be great. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do so. You can post to our Facebook wall, send a message to that account, or email us on info@ageofempire.co.uk. And if you'd like to help out the show, we've got a few ways to do that. We've got an affiliate link with Audible. You can sign up, get your Horus Heresy audiobooks, month's free trial. After that, it's $7.99 a month for an audiobook, and all the Black Library books are on there, and probably loads of other good stuff as well. You can also become a patron of the show and pop a couple of doubles on our tip jar. We're eternally grateful for that. Or we have a Ko-Fi as well, which I don't think anybody's ever used, but it's there. You can also help us by going through our adverts on the website to purchase your wargaming goodies through Element Games. We've got Element Crystal codes, which means you'll get double crystals and we get normal crystals. We'll put those in the show notes, but Chris's is CHR211, Graham's is GRA2794, and mine is MIC440. We've also got an affiliate link with the Outpost as well, a great little friendly gaming store in Sheffield. So the next episode, I think we're looking at bits of Martian Civil War and the Legionis Auxilia. So that should be interesting. Because yes, Martian Civil War, latest book. I think some people were quite disappointed about it, but others weren't. I don't quite know if it's
special character number 5 for the Imperial Fists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll do another list challenge because people like them. So we'll have to think of a theme for that. Maybe
Legionis Auxilia.
Okay, Legionis Auxilia. That's a good plan. Let's do that.
Okay. All right, then. We'll catch you all later. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night or day or morning, whatever time you're listening to this.
Yeah. Take care, folks. Have a lovely
night.
night.
Everybody. Love and